I'm going to call this meeting of the Arundel Planning Board to order. Today is November 19th, and we are at ML Day School to discuss the ordinance framework. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yeah, Marty.
James Flower.
Bob Plum.
John McKendry.
Rich Ganong?
Roger Moore.
Tad Redwood. Okay. Where did we leave off? Because I was not here at the meeting.
We left off at section 3, was it?
We're just starting
four.
Four.
Did you bring it for me by any chance?
Items in 4, sir.
You gave me the ordinance. Is the rest of it in here? You had said you were going to print the other section too. Well, I just thought I'd ask if you would brought it. You said you were going to, so.
Why give you a packet? Oops, this is on film.
Because I wasn't here the day that we discussed.
I gotta
it
send it to you.
originally.
I sent it to you.
Always excuses,
But then it might be a mail file, which is,
Would you have an extra copy for our audience member?
No, I don't have an extra copy for my audience. Sorry, it's on 205 pages, so.
No problem, we'll listen.
okay, so we were at
We're not at public hearing.
section.
So that takes any coverage.
You have yours, right, Marty?
I think so.
Section 4, the general provisions.
Put that in your book, so you don't lose it.
Why? These given out how long ago?
A couple months ago,
Yeah.
but he's the chair. So
Well,
what he
that
says goes.
probably explains why I don't have it. It was given out a couple of months ago.
I'm
You
gonna have to-
probably sent it in as one of the tax filings.
It's in with an extension something.
We need something to write on. Since at least was we agreed.
Section, general
Roger,
provisions.
you're writing on your
and
thing.
Yep, well,
I gotta pull it up.
The beginning, they didn't.
they didn't?
So we starting from the beginning of four?
Start with the beginning of 4. 4.1
Hold
conformity.
it, I gotta pull it up.
Okay.
It's a good thing I wasn't doing this here. Good thing I did.
That's what we started.
That's what you wanted.
That's what we started.
Yeah, we started in four, didn't we?
No, I thought somebody said
Did this suit you better?
that you had gotten through 3.
We went all through
1,
1, 2,
3, and you split, and
And how far into 4 did you get?
5 minutes to 10.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we did.
So
that
you
before.
said 4 and we're going home.
No, we did it, it was like, as soon as I pull it up.
Well,
Why don't you put that in your book? Is
if we're
it big
looking at,
enough?
if we're looking at general provisions, 4.3.1.
Big enough? No.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about it being long. I do have a big one, I think take this binder.
No, I have a big blue binder.
Okay.
Well, let's get a start here.
Well, I'm looking at starting right at the top at 4.1 conformity.
Yeah, I think it's, because if you look at, 4.3.1 duplex permitted is gonna be moved over, and we didn't do anything about that last week.
Okay. So let's look at this and say,
Oh, jeez.
4.1 conformity. What do you guys think?
So it appears that we've got some underlining that's not consistent with other sections. We haven't underlined other, I mean, we're talking about formatting, so.
Right.
um,
In what section? Are you?
4.1, 4.2,
Okay, because.
the headings.
Okay, yep. I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
Yeah,
I-
sorry.
My headings are underlined.
And in the rest of the sections, they're not. So if you go back to section 1,
Yeah, 4.1, 4.2,
Yep.
4.4.
You like the underlining or not?
well, we don't have it anywhere else.
Yeah, it should just be consistent.
I'm telling you, we don't have it anywhere else.
Well, I'll look,
I'll share with Roger.
Where is your laptop?
Look at
My
one,
laptop's up back, which is.
look at one, we
Plugged
didn't,
in?
look at one, we didn't underline any of them in one.
Cable at work,
Right.
cable at home,
Right.
so I don't lose them in between.
yeah, there's nothing underlined in 1
In
or 2
or 2 or
or
3.
3. So we, just for consistency's sake, we should either underline them or not underline them.
Not on.
And I would say not underline.
Okay, no underlines. They made it jump out, that's all.
Yeah, but it jumps out just as much. If you look at,
Yeah.
if you look at 4.3, it's not underlined, and you see that better than the other one.
Okay, no underlining 12 point, because those are 12 point, okay?
So, right there, 4.3.1
Yeah.
should be spelled out.
Well, we might as well say it for all the rest, because it continues throughout,
Okay.
more or less consistently.
All right, you see what we did here, by the way? Under provisions? Remember, this stuff was.
Wow, okay, I tried to warn you.
I thought you had more stamina than that, bud.
It's a record.
Thank you for coming, just to say.
Yes, thank you. If we look at 4.4, which is kind of what we do. In 4.4, you may remember these, Bob, yeah, I mentioned this last time, these are Bob's landmines. I like to call them Bob's landmines because he always knows them and pulls them out when we're in the midst of an application. And what these are is, I took them all from section 6.3 and 6.3A, and I put them under one title, or I put them in several titles here, so it would be one location and it would be called out. So provisions for reduced lot dimensions. This is all those asterisks that were in the table, if you remember, if you go back to your table, there are all those asterisks in the original table. I talked about, well, you can have 200 feet of frontage if you're on a non-arterial road, and you can have 60, you can go down to 75 feet, you know, on a cul-de-sac, and all these things were asterisks in the land use table. They're now put into basically a body of the ordinance, and it's all under provisions for reduced lot dimensions.
So what zone did we have that required lot frontage of excess of 200 feet of frontage?
Here was the kicker. The lot frontage was 250 feet in R4 and R3.
Okay,
And I believe R2. No, R3. Just R3 and R4 had 250-foot frontage. But then it had a caveat, which was a little asterisk,
which was this?
which said 200 feet if not located on an arterial. Arterials I identified in the definitions section, and include arterials like Old Post Road, and there's a whole bunch of Lombard Road, and all these roads that you don't think of as arterial,
Okay.
that are identified as arterials. Now, the only other way to do that would be to put a provision in every single land use table that we have that's coming up that says, you know, you have the frontage and then put an asterisk on that or a subheading under that that says on, you know, that would say lot frontage. And it says 250 and the lot frontage on lot frontage on
It's
arterial
only
streets,
200 now, though,
250.
right?
Yeah,
It's only 200 now in the R4, so this one may not,
Yeah,
this one may not even apply.
It may, right, it may not apply to R4, but it might still affect.
I mean, it does apply to our.
Yeah, we haven't changed R4.
We haven't changed our.
No, this the new regulation, right?
Yeah.
I thought we threw that one out. I don't
I was
know.
trying to throw it out now.
No. I didn't even bother bringing that one in.
Go to 6.3, the existing ordinance, which is page 43.
Page 43.
Page 43, existing ordinance.
Okay.
So R3, 250
Okay.
feet.
Okay.
And R2, 250.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are all 250 feet.
And you see where it goes, the number one footnote, you go to the next page, and it's got the number one footnote where it says lot frontage reduced to 200 feet for lots with driveway access on private rights of way 50 feet or wider on streets other than arterial collector streets.
I had a couple of questions about this page too.
Sure.
So we weren't going to underline, under 4.3, we were going to make duplexes permitted, 4.3.1.
Right.
And then we were going to do for provisions for reduced lot dimension, those would be 4.4.1, 4.4.2,
Right.
all the way down.
Yep.
Item 7 that was stricken, we have 2 7s that were stricken.
Right.
The first 7, site conditions shall determine the maximum density of development. Wasn't that intended for exactly what's happening with this subdivision one where there's some concern over, when was that stricken? I guess.
I think it was in our performance standards originally, but
I mean, that was our ability to say, hey, these conditions don't warrant, you know, for like the cluster, it doesn't warrant this many. Or no?
well, we can keep it in there if it makes you feel more comfortable. It's another caveat. It's not an element of reduced lot dimensions, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put it somewhere else.
Well-
It's stricken from here because it wasn't part of the.
Well, that's kind of a reduced lot dimension. We're saying you can do this, but,
Well, a better way
Yeah.
probably to do it might be to put discuss net residential density and this, and I can't think of anything else.
just leave it out for now, we run into the problem we do. But at the top of the page, 33, we've got section 5 performance standard.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The very
Top of the
top,
page.
it says section 5 performance standards,
Yeah.
and then it says section 4 general provisions.
Yeah.
So we need to get that out, that's all.
Performance standards. is-
I've got another couple of little formatting, well, one formatting thing. You have the amended January, you know, all those amended things in a smaller font.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that, and it wasn't done previously to be in a smaller font, so I would suggest that we put that in the same font. And then under 4.4, where you have provisions for reduced lot dimensions, if you look at number 4,
Let me get this down. Fonts for, promo date,
That's a hiding section.
same font size. All right, go ahead. 4.4 what?
well,
John?
in 4.4, item 4, that's not a lot dimension that we're referring to. And the title is lot dimensions. So either we have to change the title or that doesn't belong.
We have something that talks about height restrictions, don't we?
It should not be like John said.
I guess, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I just mean in a different place, we have something. to
I'm
discuss.
still struggling with a lot of this, because I mean, I flipped over to where you had done R4, and it appears that the 2 caveats that are appropriate in R4, lot frontage on a cul-de-sac with a minimum of 60-foot radius,
Yeah.
and lot frontage, driveway access on private way of 50 feet or streets other than arterials are spelled out there. And I think that's the best way
Do we
to
prefer to do
have
it
it.
that way?
Sure, because
To do
I
that
mean-
in every single district?
I get that, but that's what we sort of have decided, you don't have to do it in every one. You gotta do it in every one where that's applicable. So if R3 and R4 are the only ones, that's where it's gotta go. Because if the rest of them are less than 200, or 200 or less, they don't have to go there. Because it's a non-issue.
Right, but I think.
And you've already done it for the R4.
I did it for the R4 as kind of an experiment, to be honest with you.
But I
See
think
if it
that's,
would work.
if I've got a property in R4, and I'm looking to do something with it, I'm sitting down with, you know, my buddy, the surveyor, and we're looking to do a sketch of a subdivision plan, that's where I wanna go, and I wanna see what I've gotta do. Not dig through, you know, 16,000 pages of an ordinance to find some little caveat here and there.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think everything that relates to R2 should be in the R2 district. These are general provisions, so
Right.
they would stand alone because they're applicable to everybody. But then
Right.
if you want the specifics on R2, R3, R4, DB1, DB2, whatever, you have that separate section and it lists out
So-
what applies.
Or
Wait a minute,
agricultural buildings.
You guys are at odds here, you're not saying the same thing. Because Jamie's saying put all of this in every single district
No,
dimensions.
that it applies to.
That it
Yeah,
applies.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously, you're not gonna put it in a place where it doesn't
Oh,
apply.
yeah, no, and I agree with that.
It's just, Okay, I mean, if you wanna do it that way.
Well, let me clarify though. Are you saying let's take R4, put all R4 stuff in a table in R4,
One
but
and
not
three.
the other stuff?
We've got it.
1 and 3
Right.
are
It's all
already
right
in the
there.
table, so we can take 1 and 3 out of this 4.4 right now.
He's put it in 8.3.3, page 107.
1 and 3 are already there. So those two are gone.
Right, so this is for the R4.
So is number 2, is that applicable in every zone?
Yep. That's applicable in every zone.
And that deals with a,
Well, no, wait, hold
No.
on. It isn't, it's
It
number
isn't.
2.
Because if you go into Townhouse Corner, minimum lot frontage is turn around 25.
And this says here, well, number 2, in this, there isn't even a number 2 anymore.
And your DD1, your minimum lot is frontage is 30.
Yep.
So in 4.4, we should have only items that apply to all districts. And then for each of the individual districts, we have a table with all the various dimensional bulk and space and bulk requirements. That's what
Yeah.
we're saying? Right.
I mean,
But
I
so,
think that would be more user-friendly.
right, so
Um,
in
Now-
R4, you have the table for R4.
And I would change it to your point, maybe provisions for reduced dimensional standards.
Yeah, true dimensional.
But like for agricultural buildings, may not exceed 45 feet in height. I mean, that, to me, should be right there with anything that is subject to or allowed agricultural uses, or that allows agricultural uses.
Any district that
Right.
does, yeah.
The townhouse corner doesn't allow an agricultural use, don't put it in that space in bulk, but put a note right there, just like you, I mean, I like what you've done with 8.3.3.
So you like that better than this? is what you're
Yes,
saying?
because
Yes.
that gets rid of those pitfalls. I haven't been in any of those projects where people are coming up with that kind of stuff. But, I mean, to me, that's the way to get rid of it. Now, if it's some general things, like allowing for a 50-foot frontage on a back estate lot, yeah, put it in there. And you know about it, somebody comes in and talks to you, or somebody's really astute with the ordinance, they get that.
Well, yeah, it's just a lot easier to follow.
Right.
You don't have to read through a lot of verbiage. And the other thing I'm thinking of, like, you know, if we get a new planner or, you know, new people
Yeah.
at town hall, it's a whole lot easier to pick things up where it's all together in a table than to have to read through everything.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why you guys were indispensable in my first year here, because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Right, yeah. So
And-
let's do it that way. And it just makes it, it's all in one place, it's easy to see, and you don't have to read through a whole lot of stuff.
So like that one, agricultural buildings, you know, you've got that already taken care of in 8.3.3. You know, may not exceed 45
feet.
Yeah.
or exempt from maximum height. So you've got that exclusion right there.
Right. Although agricultural buildings, I think, are permitted in just about every zone.
Not townhouse.
Townhouse doesn't have agriculture in there?
DB1 don't.
Well, if there's a question and we don't have the tables leave it in
Okay.
for now. And the next revision, I agree, if we've got it in the table, we know we're not gonna lose it.
Okay, we'll put it on the table.
For that one, because some of the other ones, like where we were saying for 1 and 3 that are already in there, that's in R4, but those also apply to R3.
So we're gonna be putting all of these,
Yeah.
except for number 2, I don't understand, well, we have to put it somewhere. Number 2's gotta go somewhere.
Well, so leave it, if it is applicable to everything, leave it right here.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a general townwide thing,
but that's going to require somebody to look in two different places.
Right.
Wouldn't it
Well,
be
it
just
should
as
be.
easy to, you could copy and
If we
paste this
did-
and stick it into each one of the sections?
If we get the tables done, we're having trouble getting through to get the formatting done.
Right.
See, I mean, that's the point, and what the board should do, if you get to that point where you have it in a table in each of the things, fine. If you don't, have it here, and we know next revision, we've gotta take it out and
Yes.
put it to tables.
Well,
You
so
know?
we want to put, ultimately, and as soon as possible, we want to put everything in table format, is what we're saying.
Yes.
If we can't, you know, if we have to do a halfway measure for the time
Because
being,
I sure love the
Okay,
idea of
but-
not having those little teeny notes under
Yeah.
things that
Right.
you gotta try to remember, and you don't screw somebody that's turning in an application. So
Yeah.
this is a wonderful start, I think, to getting this right.
but let's table, table everything.
Okay, table as much as possible,
Right.
is what you're saying.
Right.
And that would probably be one, I have no idea what to do with two, that's a.
Yeah.
Well,
Leave it
And
there,
two
make that
originally
number
there,
one.
is that- that's
If it's an
a-
oddball
That's
thing,
an
then leave
oddball
it there.
thing.
And looking at these, Ted, I think 2 and 5 are legitimate to stay
With the.
right here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very odd issue that's, you know, your average person's not gonna run
Yeah.
across and looking to do, you know, kitchen table type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're not only doing kitchen table type, I'm thinking of like Paul Gadbois, you know, he's got so much stuff
And
going, it's
Paul
gonna help him a
Gadbois-
whole
Paul
lot.
Gadbois is an expert
He
in
is.
this.
But
And
guys
Paul
like
Gadbois
that
is- And
would
the
love
guy
to
who
see
is
it in a
the
table.
first person to do a job in the town of Arundel need to be experts in this if they're representing a
Yeah.
client. I mean, and
That's true, right.
so it's incumbent upon them to either do one of two things. Know this before they get too involved, or talk to him before they get too involved and find out these things.
And
What I'm thinking of is you own a piece of land and you know a guy who's a surveyor, who lives in,
Who's my neighbor?
or who lives in Washington County somewhere. And you sit down with him to sketch out what you wanna do as a subdivision. And you look at, you know, the R4 district,
Right.
and you come up with that stuff. Then as you go to move into the process, you know, and that's gonna give you the gist of what's allowed. You know, oh, we can only do 200 here because we're not on an arterial street, or whatever you wanna do. But, you know, really, when you get into the weeds of the design, somebody's gonna either be looking at it or talking to him about it.
And John, I think the reason why there was different fonts on sizes, like you were saying for 2007 and 2010, because that might have been cut and paste at that time. In 2007, everything might have been used as that size.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm just,
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're,
Yeah, whatever the reason, it should be the same.
correct, I'm just thinking why it might be that way at present.
It's because our planner is the IT guy.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
going the
good
captain of
joke.
the Titanic.
That's a really good joke.
So what else is there in 4.4? What you guys see?
Let me ask you, before you do that, let me ask you, site conditions shall determine maximum density of development. We'll keep that in here, because we can't put that in every single chapter. Or do you wanna put that in?
Where are you?
Number 7, that
Number
was
7.
7.
Yeah.
We'll keep that in there, I think.
Well, yeah, and that's kind
Or do we
of,
have a space and bulk for the shoreline?
kind of
We
misleading
do have,
anyway.
when
the
I
way
say
it's
set,
set.
yeah, I'm sorry, we do have space and bulk for the shoreline. We do have space and bulk for shore, because shoreline's now being put in its own section,
Right.
section 10, and it's set up with a chart now.
So is the second 7 intended to be a subset of the first 7?
No.
Okay, so that's just a
No,
fallback thing then.
Actually, that goes back up to,
2010.
Yeah.
the number 5,
Yeah, it's number 5.
But I-
7 is really 5.
yeah, the second 7.
It just numbered it, you know, the auto number decided to number it that way.
I realize we're just doing formatting, but the way that it's written, site conditions shall determine the maximum density of the development, that implies that the board can exceed the maximum density as well as
Reduce it.
reduce it.
Which I really have a problem with, because
Yes.
I think that's, from a legal standpoint,
Right.
that can't happen.
Yeah.
Unless you have a mechanism for it to happen, but with a general statement like that, I think we got some legal issues.
I mean, I would much rather see something like that, shall determine whether the maximum density of the development can be achieved. But.
Or just determine density of development.
Right.
Well, I see
You
where
know,
Maxwell.
I don't know if this is the time to do that kind of stuff,
I
but.
don't think we can. I'm
Okay.
trying to stay
Don't
away
put it
from
in
that,
there.
because I don't want those
Okay.
accusations of, oh, you said you weren't making any
Right.
substantive changes, but you're just.
Okay, so let's just
And-
gloss
and
over that.
I look at something like that, and if you had a real aggressive, say, engineer or attorney looking to develop something, and you had a beautiful piece of land,
Yep.
that great sandy soils, you could get wells and septics on half-acre lots, could go to a statement like that and say, what are you talking about? This caveat in here says, site conditions shall determine maximum density. I don't care that I'm in R4, I can fit 25 houses on this 5-acre lot, and I can do it and meet all the rest of the provisions in your ordinance. I want you to apply this condition to what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
But what
And
you
then at the flip side, the planning board could say, you have nothing but Krogan, and you have
right.
soils out there.
Right.
You have Naumburg soils out there, because of the high water table and the restrictions of that, you can't have any more than 1 unit per 20 acres.
Exactly. So I think what
So
it
it's
does
very
is it
arbitrary.
leads
It can be
to a
very
whole lot of
arbitrary and
ambiguity.
Yeah,
There's a lot of ambiguity in that.
Well,
That's
we should
2006.
make put a little star there, so we can come back to that at some point.
So,
Okay.
So, continuing on 4,
Continuing on.
at the top of each page, that section 5 needs to come out, but
Right.
we
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
put in the section.
Section 4.
Or take it out of sections 1, 2, and 3. I mean, you've got section 4 with the big title, why do we need it again up above it?
you don't. No, that was, what that is that's an artifact of the original ordinance.
Okay. Well,
That didn't
then,
come out. It
we-
got,
we
it got
didn't
stuck
take-
in the,
Oh, it's in
So
the
it's a
header.
section
it's
head.
stuck in the header.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
when the
That's
page
what happened.
changed.
Yeah.
I got you.
It got stuck in the.
Okay,
because
so take
this
them
was
out as you
originally-
see 'em.
Section 4 was originally section 5 in our
I got
current
you.
ordinance, and
Yeah.
just to kind of get, because section 4 is such a small section in the ordinance, it's just what a paragraph is about. So why not combine it and make it one single section 4?
One other suggestion,
Yeah,
4.8.6 is titled Nonconformance in the Shoreland Zone District. And then we're just referring them to section 10.4.
Yep.
Well, if they're doing something in the shoreline zone, they're gonna be looking at 10.4.
Yep.
So we ought to take that out.
that's why it
Right.
says that. What I was trying to do is I'm trying to leave a little bit of a trail, so that when people go through this, they say, where's this section? You know, maybe it was for my benefit, but I wonder if we're shifting things around, really moving them out, whether I wanted to leave a trail behind and say, this is where this went, this is where that went. Because there are some people who may ask that, Diane Robbins will ask me,
It
where
might
this
be
went.
helpful to be able to explain to them, this is where it went, but we don't need to leave it in there. We can
Okay.
just pull it out and say, it's over here now, and it's all in the shoreline, and it's all together.
If you were going to leave that in, then I would move that 4.86 up to 4.85 and move 85 down. All of the rest of the paragraphs have something to do with nonconformance.
Right.
4.85 is vested rights, so it just flows, that's all. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep, yeah, hold on, wait a minute.
what 4.84 is all.
With non-conforming lot.
Yep.
4.83 is non-conforming something. 4.86 non-conforming this, and then end with vested right.
Yep.
So you're saying switch around 8, 6, and 8, 4 point,
8.5 and 8.6,
switch them
Yeah.
around?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done this, I'm trying to, I remember why I did this. I did this in case somebody does come to non-conformance to look up shoreline zoning. And so they don't think that, so they know there's a reference to it. And if you look at our definitions, there are certain things like we have lot frontage. We also have, say, C frontage lot, or, you know,
Yeah.
we have things like that
Yeah, that's,
to reference it in case somebody's looking for something.
my
Is it-
suggestion
it's-
is only to keep all the non-conforming things up front, and
Okay.
then that's all. That vested rights breaks it, and then we go back to non-conforming again.
Okay, I could switch them.
I don't see.
Okay, one
yeah,
question,
keep that
Sue.
note.
As you have 4.81, and if you look at 4.82, you have different distances going in. It's not following, that's one of the things that we noticed last time.
What's that again, Martin?
Okay, 4.8,
Yeah,
when you look under 4.81,
right.
you got 1, 2, 3, and then if you notice A, B, C,
Yeah.
whatever else not. Come to 4.82, okay, you got a different slash in difference between the two of them.
Right, yeah, 2A, B, and C aren't indented the same way it is
Oh,
on
okay,
3,
yeah.
A, B, C.
Remember how we were doing that in 3? We said we were gonna try to have everything uniformity.
Yep.
Good eye, yep.
Good eye.
And also on 4.82.1C, put the wrong font on C.
Yeah.
And that way you can squeeze a couple extra words in,
That'll all adjust.
and it'll shorten up your page.
Well, that extends, if you wanna, if you're looking at that, Ted, if you
Yeah.
go at the bottom,
Hold on, I gotta, we get, the bottom of what? Of
35,
Yeah,
if you turn it over,
yeah, Roger, okay,
up at the top,
yeah.
we've got that same thing with the amendments that were told
Yeah.
before, somebody
Right, yeah.
said.
Yeah, I'm gonna universally, John said change all the amendment dates to the
Okay,
same
so that's
font.
gonna go across.
That's
I
gonna
was just gonna-
universally do that, and the same thing, the font, I haven't changed this, obviously,
Okay.
from our meeting, I mean, all the text font is going to be
Okay.
10 point per your request, you know, and then, it's gonna go progressively down, while the headers are 14 point, goes down to 12, 13, 12, 11, you know, as it goes down on the numbering sequence. So, just to make it easier to find things, because if you go in the old ordinance, you look in there, and it's really hard to tell what sections are what, because the fonts are all the same, they're all 10 point. The object's just to make it easier to find that. Okay, next, we're into section 5. Yeah, I was gonna ask you if we can, we can like
Again,
skip over
again.
this.
again, you got that gray area where we were talking about.
Yeah, well, no, I was gonna, yeah,
We had talked about that,
what, the gray area?
the
Get rid of
gray
the
area,
band?
like it says section 5.
Yeah,
We didn't have it in some of the others.
Yeah, we did it.
yeah, they all have,
That's in
they
the-
all have.
Okay.
It was your suggestion we leave it.
Yeah, what's your suggestion?
I'm just,
The problem
We
is,
agree.
the problem is I got double headers in there. That's the problem, Mark.
Yeah, the top.
Fix that double header.
And so we shouldn't have to go through with you individually now on the numbering, right?
No.
Okay, I
I
mean,
know
we've
what
got
you want
that
to do.
standard, how we're
We
doing
got that
it,
standard all
and
squared
what
away.
the indents are.
Right.
So
And
when
we
that,
got underlining all squared away, we're not gonna have underlining.
Now, I would write in there, I mean, that whole cluster of 5.2 to 5.21 to 5.22, get some extra enters in there, spaces.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
it'll look cleaner.
Right.
Yeah, 5.21 is gonna be general design standards for driveways, which we haven't done yet. We need them desperately, because we have, it's not well defined in our ordinance. So that's why I put the reserve there.
The underlining on D and F is gonna go away automatically.
Under, I'm sorry. We moved from, Ted, we moved from 522, standards for driveways on Route 1 and Route 111.
Right.
I think to the standard driveway locations at 5.2.2.7.
5.2.
Driveway location, or is that still part of, or is this all just Route 111?
This is all Route 111.
So in that tab, there are some references to CCS, CCN.
Yep. That's why we have the strikeouts and the additions in there. Because guess what? We missed this. I missed this.
Oh, I didn't know if that was all something that was eligible for correction.
It has to be because those districts don't exist
Right.
anymore. Now, when I do the interpretation of this, like I'm doing with Nat Trues,
Yep,
you know, I'm taking CCN and substituting AR.
right.
You know, and I don't think anybody would object to that. That was just a, and one of the things that, if you look in the warrants, it says, and allow for spelling corrections and, I think, I forget what the term that Cindy uses, but also,
De minimis
consistency. It's consistency with it.
I have a comment on page 40, at the top of page 40.
Is there anything else on 38 or 39?
I guess my biggest question is to make sure that all of these standards, 2 pages of standards or more, only apply to the Route 1 and 111 districts.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because that's what we have right now. We have a whole section on that. That's 772, I think.
But do we have a section for driveway standards everywhere else?
No.
So, I mean.
I mean, that's in our street design, right?
It's in our street design.
Standard,
And, you
okay.
know, and that's a constant problem we keep getting, is, well, what's the standard for a driveway? I mean, you tell me what I need for a driveway on a state lot, but how about just a regular driveway? Well, we don't have any, they're in the street ordinance. And you wanna talk about real confusion, because we don't have street ordinances lying around, as you can imagine, so we just tell them, we tell them the same standard that's in the state law, because that is the standard of the street ordinance, but it's not in our regular ordinance. The only place where driveway widths are really specified is in the Route 111, Route 1 corridor. And you guys worked on that for a long time, it looks like. You really, did you work with DOT on that?
No,
You just made it up as you went?
No, we went to a meeting too about that, somehow. On street design and traffic studies and all of that.
Yeah, because this is straight out of the MDOT book.
What
Did you
year
say,
is it?
Jamie? And
What year is it?
Skew angles?
the green book?
Yeah, the-
yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to ask what year do we have a
Well,
date on
what's
it?
the year of the date?
There's not one
Let me
on
look at
it.
it here. 81?
Amended
91.
13th, 07?
That's when Dan,
Wait, but that was.
01 or no, you said 01, right? It's Dan.
no,
91.
91, that's
District maybe is last 91.
That's Bob.
okay. I mean,
That's Georgitis.
I'm just trying to go back where it might have come from, that's why,
Actually, I'm not even sure it's Georgitis. I don't
Doesn't
think it
really
was there.
matter.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's old.
24 years ago when you.
It's
had it.
old, it's real old. I wonder if
24
these
years
standards are still standard.
They are for us.
Well, I know that.
At the top of page 40, my comment is just formatting of asterisks. Under the low volume, you have a triple asterisk, but it's halfway down. I would move that over next to low volume. And then, I don't know if minimum spacing to property line still applies, but it says low volume in the asterisk portion below are not permitted in combination with other driveways. So I guess a 20 feet still applies, but I would put the triple asterisk right next to low volume. rather than under medium feet. Does that make sense?
You know, I don't even understand this chart. Low volume driveways are not permitted in combination with other driveway types on a single lot. So why is it under medium?
I don't know. That's why, I was looking for it, and it's, that doesn't make sense.
Because it's low volume on both.
Yeah.
So I think that's saying you can't have more than one driveway, but I'm not sure.
I don't know what that means, John, to be honest with you. I'm looking at this. Right turn only upstream lane, lowest volumes are not permitted in combination. Yeah, why would it be under medium?
Well, even under low, it doesn't make sense. If you got a low volume driveway, that's not
Oh, okay,
permitted
so it
in
must mean you
combination
can't
with a high
have a low
volume.
volume driveway if you have a medium.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It
Not
sounds like
permitted
it
in
should only have
combination
one
with other
driveway.
driveway types.
So but it's allowed on a high driveway? High volume? Because it's not under high. It's only under medium.
I think that's what John's question is.
I don't know.
Okay, so we have
Also,
to
this
fix
is
that
two
somehow.
different driveway types.
Yeah, this is based on driveway types.
Well, and you got two different ones.
You got a high volume without right turn and a high volume with right turn.
Right.
Right, well, that at least makes sense, but,
So what,
Yeah, but why would you allow low volume with a high volume? Especially when number 3 says low volume driveways are not permitted in combination with other driveway types.
well,
They're not permitted.
is it
with other
possible to
driveway
have
types
more
with a
than one
single-
driveway per lot? I guess that's the first question. And if it is, then this simply says you have to, your driveways have to be the same, or at least you can't put in a low volume next to a medium if you already have a medium.
Right.
The way I would interpret that is they wouldn't allow you to design for a low volume condition, i.e. narrower driveways, something like that, in one portion of a lot where you have a high or medium driveway that's required in another portion. So sort of if you've got a medium intensity
Yeah.
business or whatever it is, you gotta do all your driveways as medium intensity.
Right, that's how I read it as well. And my only question is, I didn't even think we were permitting more than one driveway per lot in the first place.
well,
We do
it
in
could
the-
be off
we
of
do.
one corner
We do.
lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
We do. There's a
Okay.
separation distance.
right, we've got it down here on Route 1 where it's.
But what they're also
500
saying,
feet.
it's not just the driveway, but it's the volume of traffic from that driveway.
So if any one of them reaches the threshold, they all gotta be that.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So you've got something like
That makes sense to me.
Matt
So,
Schroed.
okay.
Let's take Matt Schroed's. I mean, the median driveway is 25 trips to 400. Wow.
Yeah. But it,
Wow, what a spread that is. I can see why you say, medium low volume driveway, 25 trips, it's what, 2.5 units, by the old ITE and 10 trips per day in a single-family home. It's down to 6, I think, but still, I mean, that's a huge spread between those two.
but I think Jamie mentioned it, but I think this might apply to something like a corner lot,
Yeah.
where you have, a high volume street and a low volume street, but you can't put a low volume driveway on the low volume street because,
But it couldn't, because this only applies to driveways going onto Route 1 or Route 111.
What,
So your corner lot's gonna be on a town road. Or it could be a log cabin road, but that's still not.
Well, it could be on
All the way
Hill,
onto
it could be
111 or
on,
Route 1.
it
Well, even
could
if
be
you have
on
a
Hill Road,
commercial-
it could be on Trout Brook
No,
Road,
'cause
it
this is
could be
on-
on New Road.
No, because this is specific to Route 1 and.
But it's
111.
talking the lot.
It's
The
talking about the
driveway
driveway
has no-
going onto Route 1 or onto Route 111.
Right, this is under the standards for driveways on Route 1 and Route 111.
But it's saying for two, we're on 111, or it says two more driveways. So it's for two or more driveways serving a single parcel or from a proposed driveway to an existing driveway. So you can have a parcel on 111 that's got a medium. It could be off of Cabot, that other one would have to be a medium as well. Or Hill Road, or Trowbrook Road, or New Road, or any of the ones that aren't 1 and 111. Any corner where you got a potential for two of them.
We already have that on Hill Road.
Yeah.
That.
And it wouldn't have to necessarily be on a corner. I mean,
Well,
if you have a substantial, you know,
Right.
commercial sized property, you got, you know, and it warrants two entrances off of 1 or 111, then, you know, you can't design one for a low just because you've only got this little teeny spot over here and, you know, you don't want to have, you only want to have a 12-foot driveway instead
You
of.
can't have it just for your employees to come
That's
in
right,
and out.
that's right, you gotta design it as a bona fide driveway if you've got that level of facility. So, sort of to John's point, I think those three asterisks should be, I don't understand why I see why they're not under the low.
I know.
Because that's sort of matching it up, but why they're not under the rest of the circumstances?
But do we modify that at this point? That's a substantive change.
Not at this point.
I would, because I think.
That's why I didn't touch the table.
Well, is moving the asterisks
Yeah.
is a substantive
Because we're giving it a
change?
different.
It's saying thou
designation.
shalt not, is what it means. Those asterisks say that, it goes back, it's basically saying, in this situation, a low volume driveways are not permitted with other driveway types on a single lot. So it's saying that, and other driveway types, I mean, that's all driveway types, including a high volume.
Right.
So why is it excluded from the high volume? Because that's one of the three, we only have three driveway types, low, medium, and high.
Right.
And yet high is excluded. Now, I could see it, maybe if it was a right-hand turn, that you might allow that, but a left-hand turn, which is against traffic? No.
But if you move the asterisks over to next to low volume, just like high volume has one asterisk, high volume has two asterisks, you know, with and without right turn.
Yep.
Put it right next to low volume, not under one of the columns. So in
Just
general,
like it is for
applies
that
to
two
the whole
high
business.
volume.
Yeah, I see what I've misunderstood what you're.
Yeah.
I agree with
Just move it
John.
over to the low, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't think that's a substantive change, I think that just.
Oh, okay, oh, you want to put it next to just the term low volume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, John, I thought you wanted to put it in the column.
Oh, no, no.
Oh, my
That's
mistake.
what I thought too.
Do you want it near the low volume or the medium volume?
Not low volume, right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's under
because-
medium now.
Because the triple asterisk down below references low
Right.
volume.
Right.
Okay.
And where does it say this is Route 1 or 111?
Back on page 38.
Yeah, but
Very, very
if
good.
that's the case, you have to, you don't have Route 1, because we have the different zones.
But we're saying this applies
Every
everywhere
driveway
on
on
Route 1.
one.
Yeah.
Regardless of the zone.
Regardless of the
Regardless
zone,
of
this
the
is,
zones.
this is the standard on Route 1, and that's the way it is now. Because we didn't do anything in the DB1 with driveways.
For Gateway.
We didn't do anything there either. It's the entire district, Marty.
I just,
Kennebunk to- Oh, yeah, no, it's from Kennebunk to Biddeford, that's the standard. And on 111, it's from Biddeford to Lyman.
Width of the driveways.
I'm sorry?
I'm just thinking,
Yeah, we may have to look at it and adjust it later, but from a formatting point of view, this is the standard that the ordinance has right now.
And it looks like it's copied from the DOT manual. And that may have changed in the last, what, 25
It's
years?
okay.
That may be why it's confusing.
Well, it is from the, what, that is from the DOT manual? Absolutely.
Under 5.84,
Wait a
I'll-
minute.
No, let's finish
oh, I
up
thought you
pages
already got that.
40 and 41.
541, just a little formatting thing. The indent is different than all the others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get over the indents, okay?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna check all of them?
Yeah, but no, I don't mind you calling them out because we're just listing them down here.
Yeah,
It's a secondary check.
It's hard to search for those, you know.
It's very hard on, when you're on there. to find
All
it.
of the then I'll say all of the beginning paragraphs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shouldn't have indents. We didn't do that in any of the other ones.
No, we didn't, and I'll tell you, it was a ghost of a machine. Couldn't make it stop doing that.
Okay.
You know, I put in the paragraph parameters and just decided it was going to give me an indent whether I liked it or not.
Mr. IT?
Oh,
Yeah, Mr. IT could not control it.
So-
Because you see,
You know what you gotta do?
Mr. Microsoft
I
decided
blame it
you
on Bill
wanted
Gates.
that
You
way.
got a
I used to
backspace,
say Steve won't let you do that, but in
you
this
gotta
case, Bill
backspace
won't
it
let
up behind the other one.
you. Right,
Then you have to go up to the top, say paginate left.
right.
Then you gotta go down and make them all the same,
Right.
and then it will work.
It's even easier.
Yes,
than
and
that,
then as soon as you hit the
Rewrite
number,
it.
though.
it
Just go
decides
up
to
to the
indent
format
anyways.
painter, do a copy and paint, and you're all done. But anyway,
okay.
page
Working in
40,
Apple doesn't help much
Real
matter,
value is
because
good.
Steve won't let me do this either.
page
Huh?
41,
People who know how to use
554, again, an
Yes,
indent
that's
issue.
right. I don't.
Indent issue, okay. Yeah, that's clear.
So we start back in at 5.8 with the 3 number sequence that we dropped in 5.4 and 5.5.
Well, we
No,
have
because
a,
I thought we.
No, I thought he was gonna standardize
He's
it
gonna
all
standardize those.
to like if you look at 4.8, that'll be the 4.8 ones, if there's additional numbers that come in, and then 4.82 comes back out.
Yeah, they're just using it as a reference.
it does get a little ridiculous after a while, though.
Yeah, it does, I know.
Yeah, I kinda, that's why I found myself gravitating away from it, because it started getting really hard on the eyes with 3 numbers.
Yep.
It just-
Well, I'm not, the way, say, 5.5 reads, to me is fine. So what I would do is suggest we just format 5.8 very similarly.
So you just, instead of doing the multi-point or the multi-number, you just do 5.8 and then 1, 2,
I would do
3,
1,
4.
period, space or tab, compliance in bold, and then have all that text come right off the end of it, just like in 5.5.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be consistent one way or the other.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, then we need to do the same thing back in 4 and in the other sections of the
Well,
ordinance.
So
not
we're
to
not
mention
doing
the
3
beginning
numbers
of
anymore,
5.
we're going back to 2? See, you guys are succumbing to the same problem I was. After a while, you went, it doesn't look good. It looks better with 2 numbers instead of 3.
Yeah, but then you have the 4 and the 5 number problems. And the 6.
Yeah, and these 5.8,
When you make reference to it, some-
8.1.
Right, and when you make reference to it. it's a little
Parentheses A.
confusing.
Yeah.
Because you have to go backwards and go again, oh, this is 8, okay, 1, 2, A, C, D, okay.
So it seemed like we went with the 3 number approach in most of the previous sections.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that way,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
So if we're gonna do that,
We're gonna do that in the
have to
rest.
cover-
Yeah, we
We'll
use
do it here.
we use 3 numbers for all the districts. So, well,
I would suggest though, and this is on page 42, when you get into that, was it 1, 2,
You
3,
keep-
4,
you keep getting ahead of
5,
everybody.
6, 7 numbers?
area?
Well, no, we're not even gonna kill
Oh,
it. Shoot
this
down.
is where I'm struggling right now, guys. I haven't gotten past this, because I'm still struggling in floodplain. Because this is the language straight out of the federal. You think state's bad, this is federal. And this is a cut and paste. Apparently somebody cut and pasted the floodplain regs at that time. I'm not even sure if they haven't been adjusted since then, because this is old stuff. But that's the floodplain regs, and that's the way they did the numbering. Which is exactly why we never copied chapter 1000 from the shoreline zoning, because the shoreline zoning was unreadable. We did our own standard, our own numbering system, because theirs was unreadable. We couldn't follow. And this is the federal government's numbering system, so it goes to double parentheses and
also
Well,
0.8.
But if we're gonna be
0.7,
consistent in our
0.8.
ordinance, I would at least get rid of the parentheses and do a point there. So like 7.A.2.A instead of parentheses, because
I think we do go in parentheses in our numbering system.
Okay.
we do.
Yeah.
If for,
I haven't seen it.
for your
Well,
five,
that's because we're economical.
Ted,
You know, somewhat.
Ted and the board, for this 5.84 application for flood, that's the one you're concerned about.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the submission requirements, then we've got 1, 2, 3, that a statement intended, of the intended use of the structure and/or development should be number 4. A statement of the type of sewage system should be number 5, to be consistent, and then those are 6, 7, those are the submissions that are required. Okay, so through 7, you're good. At 4, 7, then you'd have just 7A instead of your 5.8.4, 7A. Base flood at the proposed site of all new or substantially improved structures, which is determined. I don't even know what that means.
Well, what it's saying is the base flood, you know, which is the point at which you determine the height of the water, and that are different between the zones, of course. In zone A, it's from the flood insurance map. In zone, that's AE, and then zone A, from any base flood elevation of the federal, state, or other technical sources, including, this is awful.
But don't get bogged into the
No.
technical stuff, because people that are looking at this are gonna know what the difference in the zone AE and A and,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
And I think
that
Well, what
versus
we
study.
just need to
Our
decide the
citizen
format.
who's doing a Lomar is going to give this to a surveyor.
Oh,
And say, you've, well,
Please
yeah,
figure this out for me.
if they can understand this, then they should be doing this professionally.
But I think the way it's formatted here in 5.8.4
Yeah.
works. It's 3 numbers, and then it starts referencing specific pieces of information.
Yeah.
It goes down through 7, 8, 9, 10, with little subsections under there. I think that's quite easy.
Okay.
And it would be easy to explain to somebody where to find it, you know.
Okay.
Go to 5.8.4, number 7.
Okay.
Now you read number 7, tell me what it says.
So then you can simplify
Okay.
all the ones that, you know, the rest of 5.8.4, 5.8.6, because actually they say 5.8.5, but they're under 5.8.6.
Whoa.
Where are you? Where are you?
If you go to 5.8.6
Yeah.
Okay, 6.
and look below that,
Review of flood hazard.
it's 5.8.5.1.
Yeah,
That should just be 1.
Yeah, I had not
Right.
gotten past this section at this point.
Yep.
This is the section
Oh,
I've been
okay.
working on, slugging my way through,
Yep.
okay?
Yeah.
This is the way it is in the ordinance
Yeah.
right now.
Yep. So that would just be 1, 2, 3,
It all
Yes.
gets,
up to 8.
yep. It all gets changed out, because it's, yeah, that's a problem we have right now in our ordinance. It doesn't, the numbers don't work.
Yep.
So I have been working on this forward, so I think we should jump over to 6 now.
Well, and I mean, it looks like the format of everything looks pretty good, you know, the 5.8.7 with the bold,
Yeah.
good, 5.8.9, I don't see 5.8.8, but
Yeah.
it just needs to be bolded.
Yeah.
Right, certificate of compliance.
Floodways, all those stuff need to be bolded.
And then, you know, clean up the numbers.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
look at this, 5.8.9, it goes 5.8.I.1,
Right.
I being the 9th letter.
Right.
Yeah, that's 5.8J.
5.8J
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
in K, so, you know, just throw that in the back of your head.
Oh, I've been coordinating that with, because you'll notice it makes references to these sections in here. So you have to go back and say, okay, where was this? Because this was J before, and now it's 3, you know, or something else.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's interesting. So you can pick it up in landscaping. But I haven't finished it, I have finished this, guys, I just haven't put it out for you. I figured this wasn't gonna be a real big deal for you.
Under explosive, which comes back to 5.6,
Whoa, 5.6?
yeah. Now, they just turned talking with under the fire protection of liquid and gasoline and that stuff?
Yep.
Or are they turning out to start talking also the byproducts of composting?
No, they are not talking about byproducts of compost, there's no gaseous in here, no,
There is,
I know, but they do.
that's why I'm asking the question.
What I think what you should do is put a note down, we'll all put a note down that that's something we should probably discuss is methane, the effects of methane.
I mean,
Yeah, but that's for anaerobic, they're doing aerobic.
Okay.
Except that according to the DEP study, you can smell sulfur up there.
Well, they're supposed to be doing anaerobic, I mean aerobic, they're not turning their
They're not
piles
doing
off
aerobic.
enough,
So,
but,
this is, let's stay with the formatting.
But, yeah, from a formatting point of view, I think it's fine. And-
Keep-
and
keep that
You're right, we'll
in
make a
mind.
note on it when we get into it.
somebody make a note there somewhere, I mean,
And going back to 9,
I didn't mean to throw a wrench out there, but
That's more of a tripwire. Got it. Noted.
On page 55,
are we satisfied with the rest of it and formatting is fine? It just changed.
I haven't gotten past, when we're on, where is it, 55? This is the old formatting, guys. I haven't changed the formatting.
yeah, well, you're just
So,
gonna, no,
right,
but
you're
you're,
gonna make
I mean,
that-
you're just
I'm
gonna
gonna
make,
continue the same thing.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Not changing anything more in here.
Um,
God knows I wanna change the parking space requirements, because some of them are really whack, but you can't do that.
Yep, we'll have to,
The one thing that, I don't have an answer to this, and maybe we need to do it as notes, but on 55 where it says notes,
Yeah.
it just seems to be standing there all by itself. It doesn't-
Yep.
And number 2, I know we're not doing that stuff, but we know that all of the standards are minimum standards, because that's what it says.
Yeah.
And additional parking spaces may be required if these standards are deemed to be inadequate. I mean, they can always put in more.
in the
They
years
just,
past,
they just can't put in less, so
But
2 doesn't mean anything.
may be required, meaning the board may require, but that's, it's almost redundant if they're minimum standards, the board can always require more, I would imagine.
Well, this is a good caveat, because, this is your fallback position, if you say, look, you think that you're doing a small retail, but what you're doing, is a big, you're doing a little farmer's market at 3 parking spaces, because during the day, I only get 3 people. But, weekends, and you're having a
But
sale
since
on
you're doing
pumpkins.
medical marijuana.
Since
you're
you're
gonna
actually
have
doing
more than-
medical marijuana as the side,
Friday
that's not
nights.
included, now you've got like 40 parking spaces when you have a bud sale.
Right.
So, yeah, this is your caveat that says, we know the ordinance says only 1 parking space per 5,000 square feet, but given the circumstances, we think you need more, and this gives you the legal
Right,
Okay.
capacity to
trip
do that.
generation
Okay.
and all of that
Yeah,
stuff, right?
it's where you get to say, well, we don't agree, and we have the right to be able to ask for more under certain circumstances.
At
It's
a,
very open.
at a minimum there, though, I just take out that underline or something.
Well, yes,
Column
notes, I don't
are you
think
under
it
parking there?
Yep.
I don't think notes should be hanging out all by itself, though.
Do you wanna call it something else?
Is it notes to the table?
Yes.
3, that's what I was doing. I just had one question on your parking. I don't see anything as a description or anything else, which we had to go through round and round about your motorcycle. There's nothing in there.
Yeah, there is,
Please,
should be.
Motorcycle parking stalls, page 53
yep,
at the bottom.
okay, stand corrected.
I knew
I
I knew I had just read all of that.
To me, it would make more sense, maybe you disagree with me, but instead of having those notes at the end of the table, I would prefer to see them as sort of a paragraph at the beginning of the table. So right up front, rather than a footnote.
In other words, smack you in the head first, and then if it fits, apply it.
Well, we can put it,
Yeah, I mean,
You wanna put it
Well,
on
yeah.
in the here? I don't know.
no, in front of that, you put it as a heading, parking space, well, I mean, I haven't done this section. So I would do it minimum parking spaces. Here, that's what I would title this.
Right.
And then you
Okay.
could put something under there, let's see, what are they dealing with?
But we have the minimum required parking all down the
Right.
side of this activity. I think I agree with John, I might just move those notes and that thing right above it, where it says drive-up window station shall require 8 stackings per, that might be a number 4,
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
And just move those 4 notes, you've got parking spaces shall be provided, right at 3G, which should change. Shall be provided with the number required in the following schedule. However, where the calculated parking space results in, the above are minimum standards, or the below now would be minimum standards.
What do you call
And that would
those?
work.
Yep, I like your verbiage there.
Okay, I'll have to look at the tape, I didn't catch it, I'm sorry.
So just move it to the front side of the beginning part of the.
Under 511,
C3G,
well, it's not gonna be C3G.
well, whatever.
but you could just list out the 4 bullet points
Right.
and number them.
Yeah, and just put a however before it. However,
All right,
where then you start with number 1, where the calculation is blah. The above, and that above would have to be changed to below in number 2.
it could be general. You just put general right there. Because it's gonna be parking space, required, minimum parking spaces, then general. And then these would be there, and then the table would be right there.
Yeah,
That would be another thing, table of minimum parking spaces.
And, yeah, and don't forget to make the asterisk number 4, because I think that should apply to more than restaurants. What about banks? and things
it's
like
listed
that?
as banks.
Well, don't forget that we also had that little thing called drive-through
Yeah,
facilities.
right.
You know, we have our own.
Yeah,
performance
take the
section,
start
section
off
8.
of banks
And make it number 4.
and make drive-up windows number 4
Yeah, so they come off banks and
And
restaurants.
restaurants, yeah.
and restaurant.
you got tavern in there too?
And anything else that's a drive-up.
And, yeah, and, you know,
Something
you-
with- No, I don't think taverns in there for drive-up.
I don't think so.
Well, but there
Taverns
would-
not in there for
you-
parking spaces.
I think
That's
I
what I'm saying,
mentioned when,
parking space.
I think I
Yeah,
mentioned,
Tavern parking spaces, a lot of stuff in there.
yeah, I think I mentioned this when we were first
Oh,
going
you're
through
right,
this
sorry.
several years ago about, in Texas, they had the drive-through liquor mart.
Yep.
And that, you know, you just pull in, give your order, they pack up your car and you're on your way.
That's kind of
Love Texas.
That's kind of like Massachusetts, only it's not supposed to be that way.
Well, actually, the Rite Aid in Old Orchard Beach wanted to do that,
So
but
the
the state
rest of
commission
it
came
looked
down
pretty
hard
good.
on it. Yeah. But they had actually made an application for us to do that.
Okay, so then we're looking at signs.
Because Rite Aid and CVS all have drive-up.
Yeah, see, these are all looking good.
Yeah.
And I like them without the numbers, all that
Okay.
extra stuff.
Yep.
Go to 3 maximum
On
numbers
page-
and then
Yep.
start with.
Yep, and that's the way it's set through. so
On
that
page
works out well.
57, my eye catches a couple of extra spaces under 517.7,
Yeah.
number 1 and number 6. Just an extra space in there.
Before the first one.
No, between the first and the second word, window posters,
Oh,
between
okay.
window and posters.
Oh, I would,
And project signs, okay.
Oh.
Project sign.
I
See, now-
didn't even see that.
okay, I didn't see that,
I
but
was-
if you go after the asterisk, there's 2 there and there's 1 in most of the other ones except for number 6.
Well, that's because this is a, the formatting has changed, this is,
Right.
what they call it, justified.
It's right justified, so I think that's spreading those out a little
You
bit.
see, I was looking at it going, after number 4,
I'd
there's a
always-
space, after
always
number
just
5,
try
there's a
that,
space,
doing
after
that
number
to
6,
wherever
there's a
you
space,
need that,
but there's no space after 1, 2, and 3.
We never have a problem. Yeah, that right justified throws you off all the time.
So that'll be relatively easy to.
You guys have a problem with the right justified?
No,
No,
No, it's not right justified, it's
It's
just.
justified.
yeah, full,
Right.
full
Just
justified, yeah,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, because all of these get spaced out.
It just makes
No.
it cleaner looking.
We've got some italics all of a sudden sprinkled into 517.6.
Yeah, you had them
Yeah.
before too.
Yeah, we were taking them out though, right?
All the towns gone?
I don't see
Yeah.
why
Don't
Yeah,
need
we
it.
should put 'em in.
adds to it.
Yeah.
Pops it out a little bit, that's all.
Well, I think the bold does that.
Okay. So under towns gone, and that's in, on page 58.
and on, yeah. it was-
Throughout, what you're telling me is
Throughout.
throughout.
And there does appear to be inconsistency in 517.7.
I hope not.
Well, no, after 1, 2, and 3, there are no spaces. If you look down at 4, there's a space before 5 shows up.
517 what?
517.7, temporary signs.
Yeah?
Oh,
After 4, there's a space and then you get 5, and after 5, there's a space and you get 6, but you don't have that in 1, 2,
You
and
mean
3.
an extra line?
An extra line,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I see it, okay. It's basically,
and there also should be a colon after the number 3, the word signs and real estate signs.
Yep,
Now we're getting really.
Yeah, really.
but
I
that's,
feel proud of that one.
there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
hey,
general.
I don't wanna burst your bubble, guys,
It's-
but the only thing I changed on this whole thing was from 7 to 5, because this is exactly what we passed in June.
Yeah, but that's fine, that's
And
fine.
we're just correcting it.
This isn't big stuff.
I would question on page 59,
Yeah?
517.12.1, then it goes A, and then it indents to B, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more.
It's more
Formatting.
formatting.
Right. And the same, throughout, you just kind of watch like back on page
Yeah.
58, 517.11, just extra separation between paragraphs.
Okay, did I just catch you, under your prohibited sign, how your indentation is in comparison to what, on your temporary sign?
What page you on, Mike?
Where are we, Marty?
56 and 57 page.
Okay, thank you.
See, it says prohibited sign,
Yeah?
Yep,
but look how it's 4 spaces in, and then look at it in your temporary sign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, temporary signs are 517.7, and it's supposed to line up with 517.6 above. Because it goes premises, off-site, off premises, and then it goes into temporary signs, so.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at your line.
right, but it doesn't line up with
517?
517.5 or 517.4, because it's a matter of spacing, and it may have just justified everything.
It's your indentation.
Doesn't, I can't see from the next one. Yeah. It actually does. Oh, the problem is the T. Is that what you're talking about? The space between the T and temporary signs? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Spell check, I think that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
while you're
Well, it should.
fixing on page
Yeah, we-
59, 517.12, while you're fixing the formatting for number 1,
Two.
number 2 also needs help.
Yeah, number 3 too. Should end up to be the same as 1, isn't it?
In 517.11, there's no number 4.
Oh, yeah, it goes from 3 to 5. Goes home occupations to church signs.
And it
Or is
says,
number 4 crystal ball?
church and signs.
No, that's under Marty's section for the crystal ball.
Churches and.
You want me to bring them back here?
Oh, what
I
is
do
this?
have them.
Look at that.
I mean, I think it's just supposed to be churches, right?
Church sign.
Or church
Church
signs.
signs.
Church
Public
sign should be-
schools?
The and shouldn't be there.
Museums, it's got quite a few things in there.
It says church and signs in this one too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because there's
Because there's a
thing-
lot of other
as
stuff.
Jamie just said, there's other signs, church and other signs or something. I don't know, or maybe we just call
Yeah, it
that
was
one
supposed to
other
be-
signs.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be church and school signs.
Or other, because you can talk about,
Right, because you've got
Museum.
museums,
Yeah.
nature centers.
Yeah.
Why not just call it other signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't think that'll be a problem. That's five, should be 5-4.
5/17/11/4.
5/17/11/4.
No five.
Numerical, right. Five's gonna be other signs.
And
Those are all institutional
on
signs.
60, there, I don't know. That indentation is on.
where you looking at?
No, I think it's okay.
Well,
Or is it?
I don't know. I don't think, I
Yeah,
don't
there's
think
something
either.
wrong with the, it's,
Yeah.
it's not the indentation, it's the space after the,
No.
after
No,
the.
no.
No, the A, B, C, D should all be
They did.
aligned under the G of general standards.
Yeah, but,
Right.
look at this page here, where you're trying to put in, there, right?
Yep.
And look how far
That's so hard.
you're
Right.
all the way in.
Well, no, see, they're
You're
over
no,
one.
you're
This
right.
way one, that's all.
Well, I measured by the thumb, I mean,
Yeah.
I got two thumbs in, and you said one thumb.
Just throws everything the other way.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing that kills me is, I can remember using Word for Windows 2, and you do it, and it would follow, it would pick up your pattern, and it would replicate it all the way
Yep.
through your whole document. It was great, and then they just,
So what are you
why
planning?
should we make it easy for you?
What, do we got Mac now?
Okay,
No, this is all on Microsoft, this is on 7, this is on 2007 Word. They haven't had an update for 7 years.
Well, they'll be happy to know
They
that
don't do it.
2013 isn't any better.
I'm sure
we've had an update to 7, they're on 10 now,
No, we're at 7.
No, they're on,
I think.
no, he's talking, you're talking about the program itself.
Office 7,
Office.
we're on Office 2007, that's what we have.
Microsoft Office?
Yeah, we have
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft
They have
Office.
free upgrade
But
to
their
10 now.
newest, no, that's
That's
Windows.
Windows.
Oh, yeah, that's Windows.
But Office is at 2013 now.
No, Office is
latest
2000, latest is 2015.
update. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Nobody has it, but it's out.
Yeah, I got 14. Anyway, on page
El
61,
Capitan, I like that.
61 towards the bottom, information signs. Shouldn't be a dash, should be a colon.
Right, the same with
And
public
public
notices.
Public notice is the same, right?
And then public safety signs, real estate signs.
Yeah, everything down there, from
Yeah.
Yeah.
information,
And don't forget to ditch the italics.
from information signs down.
Yeah, those should all
Oh,
be
yeah.
Yeah, they should all be
semicolon,
semicolons, and then
or
we
colon.
need, we need the
Colon,
period there
colon.
at
I'm
3.
sorry.
Look at that, we're just ripping right through.
That's wonderful. I'm looking at this going, wow, everything was italicized except the E911 numbers.
Yeah, well, you can't because the rules for E911, they don't allow it italics.
Okay, so then into 6.
Just a quick question, thinking of how we have everything. Do we have a section where everybody gets confused?
Yes.
Okay? About postings,
Postings.
okay? Public hearings or whatever else, spelt out.
Not in the ordinance.
I'm just,
Those are state regulations.
but I'm just saying, do it, because everybody, well, when's, what, and everything else. And if we have it posted, there's the guideline slapping everybody in the face, so they know what it is instead of trying to
But what happens when the state changes it, then we have to
Yeah, but
change our
But
ordinance?
that's not something that would be in the ordinance. We wouldn't want that in there. We might wanna create a
There's
document
an,
that says
he
when
has
they're
a,
gonna be
he
posted.
has an administrative, for your office, an administrative ordinance, right?
All right, I'm confused. You're talking about postings of agendas and stuff, or postings of the ordinance?
Posting of agendas
Agendas
and
and
meetings
notices.
and that
All
kind
that
of
fun
stuff.
stuff.
What is the time frame for a public hearing or?
Oh, yeah,
Or
that's in the
decision.
ordinance.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't think it was.
That's why I'm asking,
I didn't think it
Is
was.
it all together for all of those?
No, it's separated depending on what you're going for. Like, so if you look in section 9(7), that's conditional use, and you'll see where it's 10 days for a public hearing notice. In section 7(8), which is site plan, you'll see it's 7 days. If you remember, you guys wrote the site plan
I
in
thought these were
2012.
state regs, so,
State regs are found in the statute, you know, basically in 30A. It's really,
find that in section 9.
really, it requires a newspaper notice, usually 7 days. And that's the state regs. Where do we post? They say that it should be publicly posted, and just about everybody uses, you know, the community bulletin board at the town hall. But we
when
do
nobody
it-
goes there,
But we do it on our website because we're in a digital age, so that's the easiest access for people with computers, obviously, is our website. And those are posted, usually, our requirements, if you don't have a public hearing, the town requirements within, I don't think it's in the charter, it might be in the charter, but at least it's in policies required to be posted 3 days prior to the meeting. Emergency meetings, 24 hours prior to the meeting.
well, in that case, since it's in the ordinance, I like Marty's idea, is to have
Bring it
a
all.
page that says, you know, these are the
Guidelines.
posting guidelines. Because that would be helpful not only for applicants, but for us. And probably for planners and selectmen as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, the only reason I'm hesitating on that is because what the zoning ordinance then is gonna dictate exactly how the selectmen and the recreation department and so forth, how they do their postings.
that's up to them.
No,
We're
but
talking about us.
If you're putting it in here, and you're saying the town notices have to be done this way, this zoning ordinance is specifying, procedures for departments that aren't under their jurisdiction.
So maybe we could just add that under our board bylaws?
You
No,
have it in your board bylaws.
but just saying planning board.
All this stuff is, well, it is, right now, it's not a public, I mean, it's a public document, you can get the bylaws online. But the point is that we already have that in our bylaws. We have postings in our bylaws. We have rules on when we can meet, you know, and under what circumstances.
But we don't have all the particular posting schedules for, you know, like subdivisions and all of that. in public
Yeah, they're in
hearings.
the ordinance
In
itself.
the ordinance, not in the
Right.
bylaws, so they're kind of scattered, this is the
Well,
same.
they're not in
problem.
the zoning ordinance,
Yeah,
yeah, they're not in the zoning ordinance.
right, so if we could kind of consolidate all of that, would be nice.
Okay, but I think we're gonna have to do, we'll have to do that when we change the ordinance, because that's.
Right, because that would be,
Chapter.
that would be.
That's substantive.
Well, unless you're just pulling it all together, you know, referencing this is this part of the ordinance, that part of the ordinance, it's just summarized here.
It's just a general posting, so it's
So you're not changing anything, you're just saying, well, you know, this is.
posting, I mean,
We're putting these parts for ready reference.
Put it over in the general provisions and performance.
That's what I was thinking, section 4.
Yes, in section 4, just added a thing that
Well, I
discusses
wouldn't even
meetings.
put it in a section, I would just make it a separate little page that you could stick in the front or the back, whatever. Just saying, you know, sort of an appendix, if you will, for posting schedules, or a summary of posting schedules, which can be found in detail here, 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 and here.
It's not part of the ordinance.
Right.
So if they change, we don't have to make an ordinance change.
I would just say a reference sheet, you know.
Yeah, we could do that, and then when we get to that
We're not
section in the
gonna, we're not gonna
ordinance.
take it to the town, we're
No.
just gonna do it.
Right, do it
That's different.
for ourselves, hand it out to people if they want it, you know, it's a handy reference, but it's already in the ordinance, we're not changing anything, we're just kind of compiling it for you here.
Probably makes sense to also put that on the website too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that would work.
Well, as the IT guy, I have complete authority to do that.
You have complete authority over the
We done with
website?
six?
Oh my
No,
God.
we haven't even gotten to 6. Regulation for residential districts.
It's starting to get to my head, John.
Well, if that's the case, if the IT guy, did you make up the agendas too?
I don't make the
He does
agendas, I
not.
post them.
Where are
When they're
you at,
given to
Rick?
me, if they're not
We're
given to me.
Let's
We're
start
in
with
section
61.
6 on page 63.
I have a note on my paper, I don't know if you guys do, and I didn't put it here, to change 17 to 15 or something.
Well, swap around 16 and 17.
Oh, I did that, yeah, because it wasn't in alphabetical order.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
What? What do you want, guys?
You wanna put the
17.
pier and dock before the residential single
Right.
to be in alphabetical order.
Oh,
14,
you're talking about, section 6?
Page 63,
page
right.
63, 6.1.1.
17 goes before residential.
15, 16, and 17 are all out of,
Page 63? Can't be
Page
page
63.
63.
Yeah, they're doing the wee woggle.
Somehow I got a blank page on that one.
what we're saying is that right here, 14, 15, and 16, or rather 15, 16, and 17, if they're alphabetized, are out of order. 17 should become 15, and then they should both drop down to
Be 16 and 17.
Oh, jeez, I see what you're saying. 6.1.
Yeah, right here.
Here's a motion. See the wee
Alphabetized.
woggles,
Yep.
doing the dance?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're
Now,
ditching italics again.
Yep.
And then on
Yeah.
page 64, are you guys done with 63?
Sure.
Where we have section 11 highlighted in 11,
All residential subdivisions.
before we took out some of that stuff, but if we look at
Where are you?
64.
6.1.4.
Page 64.
Page 64, the very last item,
6.1,
point 4.
The highlighted section 11.
performance standards?
Yep.
What about it?
Okay, 1, at the end of it, we've got that section 11 with that black and you can barely see it, so I take that out.
Yeah, well, that was highlighted to remind me of wherever that ended up, to make sure I made a reference to it.
Section
Okay.
4.5.
Yeah.
Is it
I was
4.5?
go-
Yeah, we saw it earlier. I went back, page 34, and what we have.
With section 11.
Well, actually, no, it's gonna reference clustered subdivision. It's gonna reference the performance standards for clustering.
That's in section 4.5.
No,
No,
it's
it
gonna be
says section 11.
11.
Right there.
But it's not.
Section 4.5 as well.
In 11, section 11 is our
Well,
conditional uses.
4.5,
Yeah, it's gonna be in conditional uses.
4.5
4.5,
says,
so if you're looking to get standards, then yeah, it'll be somewhere different.
No.
Right, that's what well, it is a performance standard, so it's gotta
Yeah.
reference the performance standard and not the reference to the performance
Right.
standard.
well, this,
No.
and I know that this one's gonna get changed, because it references section 8.4.
Right.
Section 11 is just conditional uses authority, the review process, criteria for approval for conditional uses and conditions. That is not for, okay. If you go back to, here's where I'm having my problem. If we go back to our table of contents,
Yep,
under 11, it should have been there,
yeah,
but where are all these things? They're
you're not
not,
done them yet.
oh. Okay.
Okay.
So the reference,
Working on them right
We've
now.
run out
Okay.
of planner.
okay, oh, no, okay, but that reference then, if we go to the table of contents, instead of
planner
section
before we ran
11,
out of planning.
it's gonna come out at 11.6.7,
Yep,
Cluster housing, yeah.
yep.
okay? I mean, that's where it's gonna be.
Yep,
That's all, I'm just trying to get it.
so
while
we'll
we're
just
there.
put right in 11.6.7, and if it changes, remember that.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's page 60,
64,
page 64.
and that gives us the R1 district. Page 65 gives us the R2. And again, I love the charts.
Oh. Okay. Can I go back to 64 for just a second?
Sure.
We have 6.1.4 performance standards.
Right.
That should be 1 and 2. All permitted activity in R1 shall conform to applicable performance standards specified in section 5. Then take out and the following. All residential subdivisions of more than 4 lots shall be clustered in accordance with 11.617. So that should be 1 and 2 under the 6.1.4.
I like that.
Okay, so that'll be 1 and 2. I couldn't think of any other performance standards to put in there.
That's okay.
That's why I didn't do it.
But those two are referring them right back to where they gotta be.
It starts at section,
And
And that's how
that
we
would be
just
the
did the
same
other
thing.
one.
That's gonna have to be the same thing with all of the residential sections.
Yeah,
okay.
So that should be replicated all the way through all the residential sections.
Yeah, it looks like it needs it
It
in
needs to be
6.3.4.
replicated.
yeah, you did it,
6.3.4.
you did it in 3. Yeah, it's all, except that there's
Okay,
nothing.
what page are we on under?
There's nothing on the R4, where is it?
It was in, farther in there, I know, it's section 8.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
because it goes from section 6, which
Yeah,
is talking
well,
about residential.
But an R4 is not a residential zone.
Okay,
What is it?
It's a
It's a
rural.
resource conservation district.
I know, it's because we call it R4
Rural.
that we all think it's.
Rural conservation.
Sorry. What did I say?
Resource.
Resource.
No, that's wrong.
You said resource
It's rural.
conservation, it's rural.
So then we get into section 7, which are business districts.
Right. Now, going back to the table of contents, you guys agree with that, I would assume? That this is a mixed-use district, we go to section 6, and those are just the residential districts, there's just 3 of them.
Yep,
And then we have the business districts, then we have the mixed-use districts,
yep,
in which rural conservation district is in there. It's an R4 district.
Yeah.
Is that all right with you guys? Because it does have mixed uses.
yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Business districts, these are heavily business, mixed-use districts are business, but not as heavily business, although Gateway is heavily business, but it's kind of calling it out as a special district. And then we got natural resource conservation district, which we have no idea. And rural conservation. So those are all clustered there. I mean, before we go further, this is structural. I want to make sure you guys are in agreement with this, or if you don't like that grouping, let's change it now.
Well, it makes sense to me.
I've got no problem.
Your grouping is fine, but I want to try to address one question, which is blank. And under your front cover section, 5.7.
That's 7.
5.7.
Yeah. It's blank, we have nothing
Oh,
there.
fire
Yeah,
protection.
yeah, Marty, I gotta pull that out. I gotta pull that out of there.
Why?
It needs to be reserved. In there, it isn't. It says reserved, 5.7 fire protection. I need to pull it out of this, or put reserved in there. Because fire protection is something we need to do in the next round. We need to
That's
provide
what
fire
that's-
protection, because we don't have. it.
Mine has reserved
Yeah, mine
for
has
fire
that too.
protection.
Yeah, it does.
5.7.
But in
In
the,
the table of contents, it should
contents, it
say
says fire
reserved instead of just fire protection.
Says on page.
In which table?
The beginning of the front page.
the very first page.
In the table of contents. It's in the table of contents, Bob. It's
Oh, it
specified
says
instead
fire
of being
protect, oh
reserved.
yeah, I put that, I made that note,
Yeah.
reserved,
You told me to bug you on it.
Yep,
okay.
It's in there, right?
it
I
is
put
in
it
there. Yep.
Reserve the section for fire protection, okay?
Yeah.
So I got you covered. What the important thing is that we're gonna have to go back, we're gonna have to we have to fill in these reserves and do some things. And we've got some projects coming up, we might have some, I think our experience that we're having with our age-restricted community shows that we've got some holes in the age-restricted
This is
regulations we probably wanna do a little something about. And a couple other things we probably wanna do something about. So we're gonna have these reserved sections in here, so we don't have to renumber them all over again when we do them. You guys in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so fire protection's gotta be bumped out and just put reserve. I can put in parentheses fire protection.
Which is.
Is that all right with you guys?
That's what you did in the ordinance. and I
Yeah,
think that
I like
works
how
well.
it's done in the ordinance.
I'm sorry, Jim?
I like how, mimic how it's done in the ordinance.
Okay, fire protection, parentheses, in context.
I didn't have any questions on formatting all the way to page 70. Anybody else got any in between?
No.
You caught something before I did, I'm on 72, but.
Okay, yeah, it's just, again, it's just, under the permitted uses.
What the,
That all looks, to me, different than what's in 7.1.
Well, yeah, no italics, right?
Right. We're in a lot of it.
there's no italics, except for the italics that we used in the original ordinance referencing the MR.
MRSA.
Yeah, the MRSA,
Yeah,
it's
those are-
exemptions to a subdivision.
I think it's a font thing, Bob.
Okay.
You're looking at section 6 versus 7.
Okay. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it
Because
does
this is
stand
10
out.
point, and
Yeah.
the 10 point, and the other one was 11
Yeah.
point.
I think it's a
Yeah, it just does seem
Right,
to
it
stand
is
out.
different.
that's all.
So which
Not
one was,
in a good way.
what was bothering you there?
From,
Italics.
on 7.1.1, the permitted uses
Yeah.
should be the same font as 7.1.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See, this is different than that. 7.1 is a different font than what's under, 7.1.1 is different than 7.1 font.
7.11 is different than 7.1.
Yeah,
It's all Times Roman.
well, then it's
Yeah,
a different
it's-
size.
It's a difference, point size, yes.
Okay.
It's a different point size.
Well, you've been able to correct all of the other ones, I'm just calling that out.
Okay. So
I
you
mean,
want the
it's
font
one
size
page-
under 7.1 reduced, is that right?
7.1 is reduced here. Needs to go up one.
They should all be the same size throughout the entire ordinance.
Yeah.
Right. So all should be, the headings aren't the same, but the text should all be 10 point.
Correct.
That's what we agreed to, right?
Yeah, is that what we have in like,
That's what we have here is 10 point. But apparently the description of the downtown business district is probably 11. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's what, maybe that's.
I think that's what's happening. The description is actually an 11 point instead of 10 point.
well, what's the font size or the font itself in section 5?
It's all Times Roman.
Because it's,
Everything's Times Roman.
I like the font size that's in section 5 better than even what's in 7.1. They're not the same size, they're significantly different. I don't know if 5 is a 12 or what it is, but it's not the same as what's in section 7.
Yeah, it's it's an 11. Yeah, but you guys wanted to go down to 10. You said you wanted to go to 10.
It's,
It depends on
my eyes
age.
are getting too old.
Same here, that's why I wear these things. I do it 12 because frankly speaking, when I do it 11, I can read it. I need a male electron microscope of 10.
Sometimes I just want.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm over on page 71 at the moment.
Yep.
At the top,
Yeah.
7121, other existing, huge space there.
Where?
712.
7121 at the end of the line. It's a big gap between other and existing.
Next page.
Up there. Look at that, yeah.
No! Ouch.
And then you've got some italics again, which I'm sure you're gonna catch.
Do you want to get rid of those? The only reason I say that is because the emphasis was excluding power sports, and it was an emphasis.
Well, what about residential multifamily provided? I don't see a reason for multifamily.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So we'll look at those again.
All right, I'll get rid of the
Okay.
italics, I'll get rid of the italics.
Towards the bottom, at 7141A, and then the subheads, from there on, you've got parentheses after them.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, so you've got to get rid of the parentheses.
Should be periods.
And that's the same
all the way down through the rest of it.
Are we gonna get rid of the parentheses? I thought you said that was okay.
I thought we were
But
just
if-
doing numbers.
I thought we were gonna do them
If
all.
we're gonna maintain consistency, they should all be either periods or that reverse
See,
parentheses
we
all the way
didn't,
back through.
we
the
didn't do
entire
that
list.
on any of the other ones. We don't have parens in any of the ones we've done so far.
Yeah, we do. We have them in the floodplain.
Well, yeah,
Or did you want me to get rid of those?
yes.
Yes,
And then on page 72, item F, there's an extra space between F and architectural
Yeah.
details.
That's, yeah, that's fine.
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Section 715(3)(a), can you explain what it is again?
It's a measure of
I'm just giving you a hard time.
1.5 canaras.
Isn't a nit one of those little head lice critters,
I believe it's the same as a lux.
A lot.
which is not the same as a lumen, by the way.
No,
Right.
It's not.
But it's a French term because it's deluxe.
Only in Bitterford.
All Orchard Beach in the summer.
Let's.
Well, that's a Canadian offshoot, I'm surprised we don't need passports to get in there.
It's
Well, it's-
like Hotel California.
Yeah.
You can never leave.
I never
It's
go in.
passport to go. No passport in, you can't leave without a passport.
Okay.
uh,
Anything in that 7.1 section? And then we can look at the DB2.
Well, yeah, on the table, I'm looking on page 74, and then on to 5, and there's a subnote 1, and I can't even see where that applies.
Yes.
Note 1.
Subnote one? Whoa.
Yeah.
At
At the
the
top of
end of the
page
table,
75.
there's a note 1, sign
Page
area for
75.
projecting signs.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is different because they got
Yeah,
different
you got that right there, whatever that refers to.
What, one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been there.
72.
Yeah, but where in the
It-
table
it's-
is it?
Yeah, there's nothing in the table.
Almost through the.
Oh, it's not a footnote.
Then why don't we do the same thing with that, move it right to the beginning?
Yep.
Is it
Oh,
almost
no, I forgot it here. Oh, no, that's one.
In the.
in the print?
That's
Oh, yeah.
just a reference site.
No,
You're saying, so send it up area by sign types?
I'm just,
I think I
I
see
mean,
what you're
if
saying,
if it was.
Yeah, move
Yes.
it up there.
Slide that way, it was, yeah.
Area by sign types, and then just
That's
put
very-
that right underneath it, and we're good again.
Throw it up.
Sign.
This is going to the.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
The reason we can't keep up with them
That's
is
good.
this is different fun.
Marty just
Sorry.
picked up in section 7.
Hold it, you're going too fast.
No, this is a general thing.
Hold on, I'm still gonna move this thing. Sign area to beginning of dimensions.
Area and dimensions, and then you can put that, just like we did the other one, that paragraph.
Yeah, I'm gonna wanna repaginate these tables anyway, so that they say future and dimensional
But that'll,
requirement.
that'll look nice.
So,
All right,
What is
Jamie,
it,
go
Marty?
ahead.
So the right margin within section 7 seems to be up a lot tighter, which, when you flip it, when you're over onto the back side of a page, you run the risk of, if you put hole punches in,
Yeah.
it's gonna punch through terms.
Okay, so change the margin.
I think that right margin needs to be,
I just,
Yeah, it's a good point.
It is a good point. Thank you.
You want them all the same?
Well, not
Should
only
have
that, but
uniform
if,
margin throughout the whole thing.
yeah, but if you're gonna hole punch, you're gonna have to
Right.
make room for it.
because otherwise, if it glitches, you may chop off a word or something, other than
Yep.
And it does,
Absolutely right. No, good call, good catch.
okay,
it does seem to be all of section 7, doesn't it?
yeah.
yeah,
At the bottom of page 75, I just catch a couple of extra spaces under number 1 and number 2 at the very bottom of the page. 20 feet, extra spacing there. and surrounding residential, extra spacing.
75.
Yeah, it might be. 717.
What's this
717, 1 and 2 at the end of the lines.
In this one, it's not showing up because it's single page printed, so you're not getting that effect.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
I'm working on completely different documents.
717.
What are you doing with one? What are you doing with the different documents? This is what you gave me. What do I give him? Whoa.
Oh, that is not the same, is it?
No, it's not. No
What?
wonder I can't see what you guys are.
He's got landscaping over here on 717.
Oh,
So you're not even working with the same guy?
I'm not working with the same. This is wonderful.
Oh, this is good.
What do you think?
That's okay, it's good to know, because in 10 minutes we're gonna put in.
That's right.
We are?
It's gonna be
Doing
9 o'clock.
well. We're doing well.
I know it.
But, man, we covered a lot of sections, we
Okay,
covered
now,
like
why-
4
you
sections.
just got yours tonight, right?
Yep. It says lighting.
You can't
And it's
fix
right
all of
here
this
at
by the
very
next
bottom.
meeting anyway.
Fine.
Not a chance.
Oh, on the wrong page, go to 7. Yeah,
John, what I'm most concerned about
So
on the
I'm
next
not
meeting
quite
is
sure
getting through
where-
10. Oh, section 11, getting all the
Lighting is
conditional
right
uses
here.
lined up.
Yeah, I'm at the bottom of the page.
And then getting the,
Yeah.
getting,
I think he was, by the time you got yours, I got mine, he had already made corrections.
Oh, there's the problem right there. Oh, no, it's 717. On the bottom of 75, it's 717 lighting. On the top of 76, it's 717 landscaping.
Try to move things.
They're the
over
same
and
numbers.
line them up instead
Oh.
of doing tasks.
So it
We
needs to be
found it.
718.
what?
They're the same numbers.
Landscaping needs to be
Landscaping and
718.
lighting.
They have the same numbers.
They have the same numbers.
117.
Well, that makes it convenient. We're being economical, because they charge by the numbers. Oh, it's 717?
Yeah, 717.
This is section, this is page, landscaping and lighting.
We'll go by
My
my
page
page.
is 75.
What page are you talking about?
76.
76 and
Yeah,
77.
so he says-
It's
That should be
7.1.
7.18.
It's
It's 717.
7.717 and 7.17.
17, right.
Okay.
One of them says lighting, and one of them says landscaping.
Landscaping, okay, that's fine. What's that? How the hell that?
On the 7.17 that says lighting,
Yeah.
the first sentence, notwithstanding the standards specified in section 7.5,
Good call.
all outdoor
7.5 doesn't
lighting,
exist.
7.5
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't
anymore.
exist.
is design requirements for, well, it does if you go to the next page, or not, that's not 7.5.
No, it should be section, that didn't make a reference back to the performance standard. That needs, see, this is why we're doing this. That needs to go back to the performance standard for lighting, which is 510 now.
5.10,
Yep.
section 5.
Section 5.10.
Well, what about the 2 right before that in?
Probably the same bloody
Yep,
thing.
parking.
Yeah.
Parking is the same. So these have not been I haven't, oh boy.
Several in.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch in there I gotta check. That's why we're doing this, gentlemen. Thank you. All references.
So if you go backwards, Ted, there's a whole bunch of them in digital signs,
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to go back.
7.1.5 signs.
What I'll do is do a search for 7, for the sign ordinance sign, which is, I think it's 7.12. I'll do is, it references 7.12 in the signs, right?
Yep, 7, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll do a search of those numbers and change them that way.
Yeah.
That's the way I check them.
All right,
Yeah.
that's gonna be landscaping. Before the 7.8 landscaping,
Got another two.
in number 5, right above
Go
it,
away.
big space off to the right.
Yeah, I don't have that here,
I think.
but I'll find it on the text.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I put a date on yours? Because I did an abbreviated version and a full
There's
version.
not one.
I have no date on mine.
Okay, I'm gonna, now that's, I didn't want to put a date on it, probably have to put the date on the cover sheet. Only because,
I got
then if I, it'll
Got
check,
it from you,
it'll
Jim.
put the dates on the whole thing, I'm trying to create the final copy here.
Okay. DB2.
probably gonna have the same problems.
Yep,
Boy, those fonts are small, aren't they?
they are.
That's 10.
Well,
If that's 10, then leave it at 10. But because it's not 10 back in 5 though.
No, it's not, no.
And we just need to make them
No,
consistent.
because you guys said do that, but I haven't printed out a new
Right.
copy for you, so you won't see that.
Okay,
I figured we'd get a little further along and I'd make more changes before you printed out a new copy, or we at least finish what we got.
and again, there's, in the DB2, there's stuff that has the,
Squiggle?
no, what do they call that, the parentheses.
right, what about, is
You guys are
under,
gonna like the parentheses, when we make them all numbers, it might get a little hairy.
Well, no, because they already are, so you've got like one parentheses instead of one period.
Right.
Everywhere else in the ordinance, it says one period.
okay,
It
there's,
does now.
Yeah.
Because that's what we changed it to.
Well, no, even back here, back in 2, 3, and 4,
Okay.
it was that
We'll
way.
just keep going, we'll keep using numbers.
on page 77, under permitted uses, section 7, is that a good reference? Performance standards herein and in section 7,
No.
because we are in section 7.
All references in here, I obviously missed that.
Okay,
I need to change these, all those will change over to the references in section 5, which is now our performance standards.
okay. Now you go down that list of permitted uses, when you hit 32, you have a little problem.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
31 and 32 seem to have,
Yep. Wow.
so you can just renumber from there down, or is there one missing? No. Just
There's
number from there down, just,
No, okay.
there's just an extra one in
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, let me get this, the uses, check.
And
No, there is your
make sure
31.
that you include yard
Yeah, your
sales.
31 is, 32 and 31 are both the same numbers.
there. Right,
Yep.
Right.
yeah, I just mentioned
Oh,
that.
I was just looking at, we missed 31.
Yeah.
31 is,
And yard sales, we got yard sales over there. You got that, Jamie?
What was that?
You said more yard sales.
I'm just saying, make sure you include, as you're going down, changing the numbers, that
Yes,
yard sales is a
yeah.
single one on the next page, that you include that one.
There was a
when you change the
return,
number.
yeah, obviously there was a return here that didn't. I don't
Yeah,
know.
veterinary hospitals would go over with it.
It might have been struggling with the number or it kept indenting it,
Oh,
right?
you know what? No,
yeah, you know how you can get around that 44 being out of it. Just cooch it up one line,
Well, what I'll do
and
is
then I'll
I'll,
bring your 44 to the, on the page, and then when you flip the page, you start a whole new 7.22.
yep, I'll be able to do that when I reduce the font size of the introduction to DB2.
Yep.
I reduce that down to 10, or 10.5, whatever, and then I'll pull 44 up into the rest of the fold. So it'll all be on one page. And as you say, Mario, I'll pull up section 722 up to the top of the page.
Originating right, that sent this all the way over to
yeah.
Okay, on page 79,
here. Yeah, that's where,
Yeah,
lots of places,
a whole bunch of
Yeah.
extra spaces, right?
724, number 2 for lighting.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah,
You have number 1 also, look at
Yep.
the spaces
Yeah.
at the end,
And
and
spacing problems.
2B. But I also caught something on at the end of the table where it does NDD.
Yeah,
Right at the very end, you have a dash and a period. I don't know how you even did that. I don't think that's possible, but that little dash after soils and a period.
Oh, you know what?
I don't
That
know how
is,
you can
John,
do that.
That is it's either a strike-through comment or the strike-through font
Oh,
for the
maybe.
period.
yeah.
That goes along with just the period.
The dash period?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wow.
oh, I see it, okay. Yeah, that's a strike through.
Strike through, right.
It's either showing that comment or that track change
Because I did not recognize it as a letter
or symbol.
or a symbol.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so we got the spaces taken care of, and also under 724, number 1, there's just extra space before materials.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're taking, I got
Yeah.
a question. Are we taking this one out, or are we taking this one out? No, I got that,
Yeah,
but these two are the same thing.
I don't think we're taking anything out.
It's the same exact words.
What's that?
Right, but you have two different tables,
Yeah, there are two tables here.
so technically, although I think it would be better if you did that note the same way you did in table 7.2, you know, where you have it as part of the table, but
Yeah, I like that.
in the grayed out.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah,
It doesn't float out there as a result.
right.
Okay.
That's page 80, right?
79.
Okay. Roger.
Yeah, it's because of the way Roger has his.
No, it's, does any, do you and I only have the only copy that's aberrant from everybody else? I mean, everybody else is.
No, we're the ones that are aberrant from you.
No.
Excuse
no.
me?
What's Roger doing with one that's
I like
different than
being
the rest of
aberrant.
you? That's what I want to know.
Okay,
And I
for,
just printed I've
Let's
printed
keep
that
going,
one out
let's
tonight.
keep going.
Yeah, that's okay.
for,
So let's look at area and dimension
okay,
by sign types on page 80.
yeah, and if we look at the first note at the end of the table on page 81,
Yep,
we should move that up to area by sign type should be exactly like the other one.
Right.
yep.
Well, where?
On page, probably,
Oh.
nope, not there, down on the next page. The note over here.
Oh, the notes.
Yeah, move it to the top of the
sign area
table.
note gets moved up, right?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
Sign area note, top of everything. And that's gonna happen in all of these sections.
right.
yeah, if there's one, if there's that one note, that, the introduction, this is what's different about,
This is how you
Right up
make
front.
sure you're calculating this.
Okay, well, we gotta check all those section 7 references.
Yep.
Tab 7.2.6, all of a sudden is unbolded compared to everything around it.
7.2.6?
Yep.
Mine's bolded.
Mine-
The, below it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not bolded.
Oh, okay, the numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
the numbers need to be bolded, sorry.
If we're gonna bold the rest of it.
Yep,
I like bolded numbers, I don't know
Yeah.
how you guys, it
Okay.
makes them pop out a little bit.
makes it easier to find, it does.
section 7, is section 77D Route 1 intersection standards now?
Where are we?
We're at the very top of the
Yeah,
page.
7.7D.
Yeah, 770 is Route 1 standards. So that's another reference that needs to be converted back over.
Okay, because it's not, it's just,
Yeah,
we don't have it yet.
No.
Okay, that's gonna be there, okay.
So all of those sections, 7 references.
Well, that's what we went over, that's section 5, that was the section we went over, that Route
Yeah.
1 driveways.
No.
That's what section 7.
That's 510?
Yeah.
Okay, anything on the BI district, 7.3?
Oh, the same.
So the same type of numbering,
Yep.
bolding thing
Yep.
between 7.3.1 and 7.3.2.
You're all right with those numbering, right, and the bolding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have bolding on the conditional uses, that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Bolding on numbers.
Prohibited uses, bold, I guess.
I guess Bob's gonna have to get into it. Bob, you don't mind getting your stuff on this day when I'm done transposing this?
No. I can give you my thing here if you want.
Yeah, you can have mine too.
I might steal that
Oh,
from you guys. I might steal that from you. I'm sorry, I made a copy, I was gonna do the same thing tonight, but fortunately I forgot to make one for Rich, and he told me to. So, but I all I heard was ordinance.
Okay.
Dinner time yet?
It's
And
really close, Mark.
Wow.
in 735,
735.
E and F aren't bolded.
Oh, yeah, well, F is, but he's
F
not.
is.
Well, is that?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell it was separated from the other.
And then we have some parentheses, or not parentheses, italics down to number 3, signage.
Yep.
Well, we had italics back here too.
Yeah, we have to
Indeed.
Yeah, but he's gonna pick all of those up.
drop the
Now, on the
italics.
signage, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay, so signage italics go, but we're keeping we're keeping the italics
For emphasis,
for emphasis or references to,
MRS stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
okay. That's, anything else in the BI district, which is up through page 87.
Um, 7361 is. Seven, three, six, one.
Okay.
Determine the suitability of the, I'm at 87 at the top of the page, says submission.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's 7.3.6.2, and then it says, to determine the suitability, the proposed operation will meet the objections of 7.3.61.
That seems kind of
Yeah.
redundant, doesn't
And
it?
736.
But he's gonna go through all those references to 7, right? You're gonna pick
Yeah,
up all.
Yeah, but
But
it's,
it's- take a
but
look,
it's
seven,
number
three,
one.
it's right there.
It's the one right before. This is the objective, and we have it spelled out.
And then we say that
To
you have to meet the
determine the
objective.
Yeah, but is that a correct reference?
Yeah, it is.
It is right
Yeah,
here,
I
it's
think
right
it
the
is.
paragraph
Oh,
before.
'cause I thought all the 7 references were.
Most of them are,
In this case, this is the correct reference.
right.
Oh,
But,
that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense then.
yeah, this is referring to the submissions for mineral extraction permits. Okay, approval of performance standards, the objective.
Yeah, the objective is that we get, proposed mineral extraction operation shall be designed, graded, and restored at the termination of the operation, so the property may be immediately developed for business or industrial sites and serviced by roads and utilities infrastructure. And then what it's saying is, in order to determine the suitability of site for quarrying operations and to ensure that you meet that objective we just talked about, up above, this is what you will provide us with for submission requirements.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what it basically says.
Okay, sorry.
Yep,
It's keying it back in the thing. The objective is you're gonna leave us with a buildable pad that we can sell, or you can sell for business use. And that is our objective. Your objective is to remove material. Our objective is to have a building site.
Does that building
Okay.
site
Let's-
also include access for, utilities?
yep.
I'm just,
Let's back up a little
Yep.
bit to page
You're
86.
gonna blast enough of a ditch there so you can put in some pipe.
Back up to page 86 under
Get some
solid,
fights on that, you know?
solid waste. C, section 564, is that a correct reference?
86, what's right?
564.
8, solid waste, C, at the end, it references section
No, it's not.
564.
No, because 5.6, it goes 5.6 and then 5.7, there is no 5.64.
Okay,
So
so
that's gotta be there.
Page 80?
And Ted, there's an indentation thing going on between number 5 and that, on that page 86 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
So this is a wrong reference.
Is it?
Yeah, because we have 5.6 is explosive materials, and 5.7 is reserved for fire protection.
Yep.
So I don't know where that
is.
is, I don't know where that is, but it's not at 5.64.
No, it isn't, and, let's see, that was, so this is section, let's see, there's probably those.
Okay, this
Well,
is for the,
you can find that, but
735.
that's for the BI district specific.
Right.
Where are you, where did you read about fire protection?
5.6,
No, he's
that's,
just referencing a different.
I'm just referencing where, to show that this 5.64 is wrong. If you go back to
Okay,
five,
okay.
Proper reference.
5.7, that's where the reserve for fire protection is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for solid waste, it's supposed to reference solid waste performance standard.
There's also a reference there in 736
736.
Yep.
to section 8.5, which doesn't exist, I
Nope.
don't believe,
So
so.
that's regarding, let me just look at this.
And that shows
I
up,
know
in-
it's
Yeah,
right.
sure,
Right.
again.
it shows up.
Okay, that's for
again in-
middle extraction product, so that's gonna be on, that's gonna be actually a 5,
It shows up in 7363 as well.
7 what?
7363, in addition to the applicable standards of section 8.5.
Yeah, okay, so references,
Yep. Okay.
this has been a long road we've been on, going around and around with these ordinances.
Does that-
All these references?
Does anybody else have questions on the
Yeah.
BI district?
Yeah, I got one
I think
question
when we reference
that we
it,
have.
put the shit right there.
This is the first time I've seen it, and correct me if I'm wrong again, under number 7.
Odors?
Yeah, we have not, anywhere in our ordinances, we've never had that per se classified.
Nope.
Yeah.
Do not. Defining what what an odor is a very tricky thing. And we have not tackled it. This ordinance has never tackled what constitutes an offensive odor.
Well, I'm trying to, I mean, this here, okay, going beyond property line, okay? Well, that we can say one way or another, but what I'm not trying to get at is the issues that we've been just recently playing, okay? But I've never seen the word odor in classified or even a definition of something or another that way, because,
I think it's classified under nuisances.
It is in 97H section.
It is.
We do
It
talk
refers to
about that.
odors.
So it's
Nine.
one of the conditional.
section 9, but we haven't got to 9.
Yeah, no.
But no, I'm just saying is,
This is for the BI specific.
okay,
But no, Marty brings up a point. I mean, it's one of those terms that you throw around. But if you were to get called on it, how much, where's the grounding on it? You know?
Yeah.
Because it's also in section 810, what we know as 810 is solid waste.
Well,
You know,
we
it's
have a
referenced
provision,
constantly there,
But
but
that's not what we're talking
Okay.
about.
no, but we have a provision somewhere. Let me, I may say this wrong a little bit, but there's a provision that if there are complaints about lights, orders, et cetera, and if the code enforcement officer were to write it up, and then it's on the property owner to do that testing, or we can do it if they say they're not going to. And then whoever, if we're wrong, we have to pay. If they're in violation, they have to pay for the test and correct the thing.
I think if anything else, the odor was more or less like for, if you had overrunning sewers, septics, or anything else.
That's trash dumpster.
So we can't, we're not gonna make any change to that tonight. We can't make any change. So I have one question. I mean, we have the Alfred Road District, and then we're done with 7. Do you want to do that now, or do we put it off until the next meeting?
Alfred Road?
That's all we have.
Yeah, I would suggest we finish
It's
seven.
quick and easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So
it's gonna be very similar to,
I have,
The adjustments that I can see at 743, there's a footnote.
yeah, do
That
that
needs-
the same way as the
Needs to
others.
be fixed the same way.
But wait, before you move on,
Okay.
the table, that's 2 tables glued together incorrectly,
And it needs to be
so
adjusted.
that needs to be fixed.
Where's that at?
Well, you can see,
oh, yeah.
743.
I see what you're talking about.
here.
Right
Right here. You see the way it looks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sort of funky.
So that just needs to get.
Make sure there isn't
okay.
another line that's
So,
got some
okay.
information on
Yeah,
it.
you
So
got
that's
two
table-
blank lines in there.
Right, and the footnote below it.
7.4.1. Wow, what happened there?
Yeah, no, and then that footnote
Yeah, it's
there
not
has
there.
to be in the grayed
Yeah,
area.
it sure does.
Yep.
7.4, fix! How's that?
But we're referencing
And then
section
at the
7.
bottom of
7.
the chart
This is
on
what I had.
4, on 744 for signs, we got that same issue where we've got the footnote below distribution.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that in every section. I'm just wondering how that table got whacked out like that.
Doesn't matter how, we just need to
But
fix
it needs
it.
to be fixed.
Yeah, it's easy enough to fix.
Wow, because in the original, in the one in the ordinance right now, it's pretty clean.
92,
Jeez, how'd that happen?
Okay, for hole punching purposes, this note's gonna be moved over.
Everything's got to be moved over.
92,
Page what?
92.
92,
Now, give me a number, give me a.
5C,
5C, on page 92.
74,
Well, on 91, the note should go up to the front.
yeah, he's already got
Oh,
that.
got that, I'm sorry.
735C, okay.
735C, yeah, you have the parentheses there.
735C?
Well, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be 73.
No.
Yeah,
Seven
no,
four.
74,
It's 74.
744,
44, no, 745.
745C.
okay.
What's the problem with it?
It's got parentheses.
Actually, it can't be 745.
Yeah, it ain't.
That's bad
7,
numbering.
That's
4,
bad number.
4,
74.
4.
744,
Yeah, it's gonna be wrong. 'cause you
Whoa,
have five
something's
here.
right,
Yeah.
something's wrong there.
743,
7441,
7.44,
It's 7445.
7.45
Yeah, but what's
is
the next
the
section?
area and
Yeah.
dimension,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Well, if you
Oh,
start,
seven,
you got
four,
7.4.
4.
yeah, this
It's
one's
signed.
745.
So
Yes.
7.45 is area and dimensions.
No, it's
No, it's off-street parking loading.
Huh?
744, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
7445.
okay, then
It
what is
okay.
area and
Yeah,
dimensions?
it's okay.
It's 7444.
I thought we were only going up two
No,
numbers.
so you just do it 4.
Numbers.
That's done correct.
7.44.
Okay. But all of
Well, we
that
have
was
some
just to catch those
0.44
parentheses.
Yeah, okay.
It's a subset of that.
It's a different spot.
This is 74445.
What was that? No.
No, it's not.
Here's 743,
2,
744.
3, 4.
745 should be,
Lighting.
745
Should be
should be
just the
off-street
number.
parking. These
Right.
are,
And this is where it gets,
Okay,
he's
no,
talking.
just the number.
It's right there, which is 7445.
what's wrong with it?
Nothing.
Just the parentheses under C.
Oh, the parentheses.
Yes.
We went through all that to tell you where we were looking.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on the ARD district?
Well,
That you guys see?
again, we have a lot of references.
Yeah, references,
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are
section 7.
references fixed.
And where in section?
There was a spot in 7.4.4.2C.
Neon signage,
Yep.
yep, needs to be spaced.
7.4.4.
Point 2.
I thought we were only going over numbers.
No, I see what he says, it says neon sign.
We are, but we're still, the next reference is still a number. We're just not carrying all 3 or 4. We're not carrying all 4 out, so it's printing.
But you're still referencing that.
Right.
See your neon sign?
Yep.
Right there.
Okay. Anything else?
Where is
Get
the
that
neon
one, right,
sign?
Jimmy?
Way up here at C?
That's the one you was.
Yes, that's what I was referring
Right.
I think the next time we're scheduled to review this is
to. Okay.
sometime in December, right?
Yeah. My kidney.
The 19th?
Shutting down.
Or the 2nd?
Portion.
Yep. We're gonna have a full house on the 10th.
Full house on the 10th, so do we look at this on the 3rd or on the 19th? The 3rd or the 17th?
17th.
The 17th.
So we're gonna start with
So we'll start with section 8 on December 17th, and we should be able to finish it, because we just got the 3 sections to.
Piece of cake, yeah.
well, that's if you can finish.
That's if we, that's
There's a
true.
lot to be added.
I've gotta add all of section 10 in,
Yeah.
or 11, I
Well-
mean, I gotta do all section.
December what now?
17th.
17th.
December 17th.
So we'll play out, what are our meetings in
Eight.
December?
That's it, 7th, 10th
The
and
10th and the
17th.
17th, okay. I just wanted to be clear.
And probably we'll have the ZBA meeting in December too.
Say that again?
There'll be a ZBA meeting in December?
For-
Oh, you didn't hear?
No.
Marty, I'll let you tell me.
Let's, wait, let's get off.
Let's finish.
Okay.
So that's,
Any point of interest for
that's.
businesses moving in and out of town, or
Sold
or,
Yeah,
you might as well fill the board in.
I might as well tell them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, Arundel Playhouse has been sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the paper.
It was in the paper, yeah. It's been sold to Tim Harrington. And and his partner, and they're going to be changing it into a cafe-style seating. And they're going to be doing a number of different venues, musical events and poetry readings and plays and various things like that. They've requested that to put in a service bar. It will be restricted to the ticket holders. It's not an open bar, it's a ticket. It's basically, it's the beer and wine you get at an intermission, you know, in most playhouses. So that's what they want to serve that alcohol. And frankly, the size of it is 233 square feet. They're going to be converting into that service bar.
Now, who's Tim Harrington?
I was a developer out of Kennebunk. He's done
Done a lot down there, a lot in Bedford.
he's done a lot of better. He's the guy who did Hidden Pond.
Yeah,
All the ones you just got?
whatever he does, he
Yes,
does.
no, he's the one who just got hit with the $22,000 fine.
Yeah, for
Kennebunk
building
Park.
permits.
Yep.
Yeah, the building permits.
This is gonna be done by staff review. It's not anything that's gonna come before
He's
us.
had
Oh, no, just so that you know, this is not coming before us. This is gonna be before staff review because of the size.
Sounds good.
Unless you guys have a problem with that.
No.
Okay. So at staff level, we'll be dealing with him on that. And he's also gonna make it seasonal, so he doesn't have to pay the parking lot. Probably wants to fix up the parking lot.
He might wanna fix it.
A little messy, it's a little overgrown. But,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Jim's already had one meeting with him, I'm gonna have another meeting with him. We're gonna go over exactly what needs to be done.
One question you may wanna do,
Yeah.
okay? There is public water there.
Yep.
You may wanna upsize it.
He's already been the fire marshal.
I'm just,
Public water or fire?
I said public water, Terrell, because public water
Right.
is, she ran in, I think, a 1-inch hose.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Oh,
the service
just
to
the
the.
Service
yeah, yeah,
capability there, yeah. Well, that's a good point, although he's gonna be decreasing the number of patrons. Probably increasing will probably be.
Yeah, and with the pressure you've got now, I think, 1 inch is not too bad.
Well, it's a good point, I'll
We'll check it out.
mention that to him. I'll mention that.
If he wants to bring fire hydrant down too, it'd be nice.
There's a fire hydrant right on the corner.
I know where it is. I can tell you where they are.
I'm sure you can, it makes no sense to have.
It's within 1,000 feet, okay?
Easily,
Then he doesn't need it.
he's easily within 1,000 feet of that hydrant.
Anything else going on?
Not since our last meeting, no,
House season cottage.
I haven't had a meeting with them this week, so, don't know. Jim's, one thing on that, they're pulling all commercial, electrical permits now. So, Jim, we're switching Jim's, doing the inspections.
Switching gyms.
A commercial.
Yeah, commercial electrician.
Is doing all the work now.
Jim Commandant?
Yep,
Yeah.
so he's doing all the inspections out there. I think it's a good move on their part if they're gonna rent out those units, which they will, you know. I mean, we are considering them lodging, so putting in commercial level electricity in a sense, also helps them dodge a few bullets if they start doing it on a regular basis, the lodging facility.
Okay.
And we
Make
got.
a motion to adjourn.
Oh, we got, can we get?
Oh, need a,
Second. Motion's been made and seconded.
who made the motion?
I did.
Bob and Jamie. Motion to
Sure.
adjourn.
Well done.
9:20.
Did we vote?
Oh, yeah, you
All in
make the vote.
All in favor, but technically, under Robert's rules, you don't need to vote on it.
No, you don't need to vote, you need a
Motion
motion
to
and a
adjourn
second.
is done.
Yep.
It's seconded, it's time to go home. Which really